Thank you, Adrian, and a very good afternoon to you from the Puskás Arena, a stone's throw from the eastern bank of the Danube. And the road to Budapest has been as long and meandering as the great river as it makes its way from the Black Forest to the Black Sea. Arsenal's journey has also been a steady progression through a multitude of countries towards its destiny, picking up momentum as they go with the flow, with no hint that they've had to swim against the tide. And this is where trusting the process gets you to European Cup final and a tilt at continental glory. That they arrive in Budapest with the double doable, highly commendable. And still, they haven't lost a game throughout this Champions League campaign. But the final fittingly provides much the toughest test. They were the holders, PSG, the last team to beat Arsenal in this competition just over a year ago. And the two finalists have such different strengths, such conflicting approaches. The free-scoring Parisians against the watertight Gunners, whose respective knockout ties were the perfect illustration of their respective MOs. Just contrast Arsenal's 1-0 aggregate success in the quarter-final with Sporting to PSG's 5-4 first leg match for the ages win against Bayern Munich. But there is more than one way to get the job done. You play to your strengths, and tonight the best attack in the competition comes up against much the best defence. Imperious against impervious. All that matters, the instruction to the engraver of the trophy. And this is how they line up. Raya in goal for Arsenal. Mosquera, Saliba, Gabriel and Nkapia. Rice and Lewis Skelly, Saka, Ødegaard and Trossard. And Havertz on the bench, Timber, Calafiori, Zubamendi, Norgard, Marino, Eza, Martinelli, Madueke, Daumann, Jesus and Gyökeres, and Arifa Balaga. PSG in their traditional dark blue have Safanov in goal, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho and Nuno Mendes, Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, João Neves, Doué, Dembele and Kvaratskhelia. Their bench, Lucas Peralta, Zabani, Gonzalo Ramos, Lee, Lucas Hernandez and Mayulu, Dro, Barcola, Zaire Emery and Mbaye, and keepers Renato Marin and Lucas Chevalier. Referee Daniel Siebert, the German who officiated Arsenal's wins in both the quarter-final at Sporting and the semi-final at home to Atletico. The Arsenal players emerge from their huddle in the penalty area away to our left-hand side. They will be kicking from left to right, defending the end that houses the Gunners' support in this first half. Well, the trophy drought ended in England. Now, Hungary for more. In 2006, they came within a quarter of an hour of glory, only to fall agonisingly short. It has taken 2 decades to get the right weapons back in the arsenal, but with sights recalibrated, the Gunners now have another shot at the single biggest win in their 140 years. And the 2026 Champions League final is underway. The Gunners from the kickoff, punting the ball high up in the air, the real up and under. João Neves brings it down on the edge of his own penalty area. Marquinhos clears, and Gabriel works it out towards the Arsenal left-hand side for Nkapia. For Arsenal win a free kick, the first of the afternoon, yard in from the left-hand touchline, about 5 inside the PSG half. Alongside me, former England captain Stuart Pearce.
Hi Jim, yeah, what a game we've got for everyone tonight. This is going to be absolutely superb. Can Arsenal extend obviously their grip on the Premier League title now into Europe and get their hands on silverware here, or are the free scoring PSG side going to get over the line? We'll tell you all in the next 2 hours.
The first set piece very, very deep for Arsenal, but they have lined it up as something to attack. PSG defending with a high line 8 yards outside the penalty area. Rice has just teed it up, and Nkapia going up for his. Gabriel coming in behind him that headed it on. Safanov can easily watch that out of play for a goal kick that will be taken away to our right-hand side. We're with Talk Sport with 90 seconds in this game, brought to you in association with TNT Sports, the home of European football. It was always going to be, of course, a formidable atmosphere here. Just an extraordinary cacophony of noise A sea of colour. PSG flags being waved away to our right-hand side. The vast majority of the Parisian support actually in white. And Arsenal in red and white T-shirts away to our left. And still, as you look at that stand away to the left-hand side, it's in perfect stripes of Arsenal colours. Ball is just outside the penalty area. Work back by Vitinha, under pressure for Marquinhos, who basically had the second half of the league season off. He's only been playing Champions League football predominantly since February. He works it forward through the midfield here for Nuno Mendes, whose crossfield ball hit Trossard, jumped up for it, but it's then brought under control by Vitinha. Vitinha brings it towards the edge of the centre circle. Down to his left-hand side is Fabian Ruiz, the Spaniard, working it forward and immediately getting a return ball from the retreating Dembele. An early illustration of the movement between the front three for PSG, with Dembele loves to just come out of the left-hand side when he does so. Scalia will move into a more central position and Nuno Mendes will come high and wide up on the left, almost as a fourth forward in a line of four, and that creates the space, but when they do so, they just drop Fabian Ruiz back in, almost as a temporary left back. Arsenal trying to win the ball back in the midfield, haven't quite been able to do that as yet. Vitinha sticking his foot on the ball, just rolling it into the edge of the centre circle where the retreating Scalia lays it back for Fabian Ruiz, who takes it past Saka and then nudges it in towards Vitinha again. Nuno Mendes under pressure from Saka, back to Pacho, now to Fabian Ruiz, two cuts of green grass away from the edge of his own penalty area. With the feet of João Neves and back for Vitinha, who've scoured the record books. We reckon if he were to score tonight, he would be the only man ever to score in a Champions League final, and also against Chorley in the FA Cup. Can't find another. Sense that Peter Witt might have done it potentially in non-league days, but I think Vitinha's record would be safe. So if it doesn't come to that. Ball out of play. It's a throw that will be taken by Nuno Mendes on the PSG left with 4 minutes in here. And it's 0-0.
Yeah, while you were speaking of Vitinha there, I'm just going to go back to something Aid mentioned earlier in the build-up. 6 goals this season in Champions League and a 93% success rate with his passing. That's some stats, by the way, at this standard of football. And already in this game, he's dictated the tempo of PSG's build-up play.
Yeah, those 6 goals include a hat-trick against Spurs, also found the net against Newcastle and Chelsea, so 5 of the 6 have come against English opposition. Free kick being given away by PSG. Ball just got kicked away, but the referee didn't make anything of it, despite the murmurs of discontent from the travelling Gunner support. And Kai Havertz will drop deep and play the ball out to the left, where it's worked forward. It comes off Trossard and breaks Havertz's way. Big early chance. His ranging stride takes him inside the penalty area, and he strikes it into the top right-hand corner. And just like 20 years ago, Arsenal strike first in the Champions League final. It's 1-0 to the Arsenal. Has that refrain ever had a sweeter sound?
What an incredible start to this game. A good ricochet for Arsenal's point of view in and around the halfway line. Havertz has burst away into the inside left position, into the box. You thought the angle was a little bit tight, and he's just unleashed one into the roof of the net. A wonderful finish from the angle he was at. Close range, but the angle was so tight, and Arsenal had taken the lead. Really good fortune there with the ricochet, but I tell you what, he picked the right situation. He took it nice and close, probably about 6 yards away from the goal, but I don't know, not an handball we're looking at, please, in the build-up, we hope. And as goalkeepers do, they set their body and they tend not to move from that set position, and that's exactly what Serenov done on that occasion. I think you've got to make more of an effort there, I really do.
Kai Havertz, who scored the winner in the 2021 Champions League final, now gives Arsenal the lead in the 2026 Champions League final, after a mistake from the veteran Marquinhos. Clipped the ball forward, and it's cannoned off the shoulder of Trossard. Havertz had plenty of time to think about it and has blazed the ball into the roof of the net. A finish, I mean, the run wasn't the same, but it's a finish that's not dissimilar to that Ryan Giggs goal against Arsenal back in the 1999 FA Cup semi-final, where he launched it straight almost at David Seaman's throat, and the ball went into the roof of the net. A moment for the ages for Arsenal, who lead, but will they be able to hold on? They have only lost one of the 45 games in which they've gone 1-0 up this season. Play stopped here. There's a coming together between Fabian Ruiz and Miles Lewis-Skelly. The free kick has been given Arsenal's way, but Fabian Ruiz is very slow in getting back to his feet. Don't think he's going to need any treatment. The referee just wants to pull the two captains over and he's trying to calm things down. But it will be a free kick to Arsenal, who lead here in Budapest by a goal to nil on TalkSport.
I've got to say, Jim, I'm not over enamoured with the modern day goalkeepers. They set their body in a sort of as wide a spread as possible, and they say, well, if it hits me, brilliant, I've made a save. But there's no backup to, if that ball does get flashed just above their shoulders, they almost say, well, I'm just going to set my arms and not move my body or arms at all. And I think that's a giveaway, personally.
So Arsenal with the lead to protect. PSG's form suggests it might take some protecting. Ball inside the Arsenal penalty area here is well headed away. There's Mosquera that came across and got there first from a right wing cross. Trossard will try and break. He's been dealt with effectively this time by Hakimi. Marquinhos feels it near the edge of his own penalty area and then plays it forward to the slightly built but big on talent Vitinha, who is just able to slow it down to walking pace and then lay it back towards Nuno Mendes. Well, speaking to several friends and colleagues downstairs in the press room before this game, everybody thought that for Arsenal to have a chance of success today, they had to score first, and they have done exactly that. The 6-minute goal from Kai Havertz giving them something to hold on to here. And when you've only conceded 6 goals in the entire Champions League campaign, if ever there was a side who would be confident in their ability to protect a 1-0 lead, it is the Arsenal. Fabian Ruiz gets it forward. Kvaratskhelia loses out to Rice in the midfield. Arsenal getting it forward again. It's then cannoned off Ødegaard away from Vitinha, cleared by Saliba, brought down by Nuno Mendes, who was caught by Kai Havertz, who retreated from an offside position to make that challenge, and the free kick is taken. Arsenal fans not happy that they thought it was taken to the wrong place, but actually able to take it from where Havertz effective play rather than where he was in an offside position. PSG get it forward towards Marquinhos. It's 1-0 to Arsenal, 10 minutes gone. Down towards Kvaratskhelia again on the PSG left. Infield from him to Nuno Mendes. Vitinha goes inside the centre circle as he surveys his options. To his right is Marquinhos. Hakimi, this is his first game for 5 weeks, coming forward up the right flank for PSG and then laying it back again. Now it goes out to the figure of Doué to Neves. Doué back for Vitinha. Mendes coming forward. Fabian Ruiz just supplying the width on the left as Kvaratskhelia comes into a more central position. It's a nice pirouette in possession from the Georgian, who then by Vitinha can get the ball out towards Doué. Doué coming in, little flick in towards Kvaratskhelia, who almost found a way through. It might yet, before a brilliant saving challenge from Gabriel flicks it away and behind for a corner.
Well, they're going to have to make those last challenges, and it was a wonderful challenge. And Capia coming in from one side, Gabriel the other.
In comes the corner, works short, and then swept in deep. Fabian Ruiz comes around the back. He can only send a bouncing bomb into the side netting and out of play for a goal kick. It was a brilliant last-ditch interception from Gabriel. Looks as though the chance had gone for Kvaratskhelia, and then Ricochet back broke his way, and Gabriel came in from nowhere and stretched out a left leg. Just able to tow the ball away for a corner.
Yeah, the game's set up brilliantly now. This early goal The one thing you do notice about PSG's play, they're almost unshakable, aren't they? They've carried on. You wouldn't know that a team scored a goal. Normally, sometimes you get a little bit of panic sets in, but with PSG, you think, yeah, no, we'll play our game, and we've got confidence in our game.
You're listening to Arsenal Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. And forward comes William Pacha, the Ecuadorian, out from the back. Square to his right-hand side for Vitinha. Arsenal not putting any pressure on the ball as PSG bring it forward towards halfway. Arsenal defending in almost a 4-2-4-0 formation. Just getting the banks right behind the ball. Good strong run from Fabian Ruiz. Cross the face of goal. Nobody coming in at the far post, and Raya dived, had the far post covered, and then drew his hands back behind the shot to make sure that it went out of play for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. 13 gone. It's PSG 0, Arsenal 1.
We've just seen a run and a ball in an area that was quite prevalent in the Bayern Munich semi-final, if you remember. Ball played in and around the centre, the left-hand side on the touchline here, about halfway, and it's just helped on round the corner to a runner in the inside left position. We saw that on quite a few occasions, and it almost bore through on that occasion.
So Fabian Ruiz has played wider than he often does so far. He's almost playing as an auxiliary fullback in behind Nuno Mendes at times. Nuno Mendes can bring it forward here. That is Fabian Ruiz, who then makes those darting runs and finds himself in the space. It's a free kick here conceded by Arsenal.
The referee being a little bit pickety, I think, in these early stages. Just needs to let the game roll a little bit more.
Vitinha to Marquinhos. Towards Doué and back again. 5-0, they won the final last season, but already in much more of a contest this time round. Paris Saint-Germain. Pacho goes to his right, Marquinhos helping it forward towards Hakimi. Back infield to Doué. Doué with a measured ball back for his captain. And the Brazilian Marquinhos brings it forward again. A veteran of more than 500 games for Paris Saint-Germain. Gets it back for his goalkeeper as Safanov clears.
I'm just looking here. Talk about rotation. Havertz has dropped, and he's the deep line midfielder picking up a player. That's the sort of rotation that Arsenal have got to do, because PSG test you. There's great movement, great rotation in their ranks, and all of a sudden Havertz has been drawn right back in front of his central defenders and doing a job for the team.
Scalia back for Vitinha. Possession at the moment, 3/4 to Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal won't be fazed by that as they lead courtesy of the 6-minute goal of Kai Havertz. One of those nights that if Arsenal were going to be able to win it, the recipe seemingly defend as well as they often can and take the isolated chances when they appear. And so far they've got the cocktail right. There's a long way to go, 75 minutes to be precise. Marquinhos coming forward, right hand side of the penalty area. Hakimi can clip it in. He's won another corner, which will be taken over on the Paris Saint-Germain right, and Arsenal will get everybody back inside their box again.
This Parisian side can break your lines with a pass. They've shown it on a couple of occasions now. Movement's good, weight of pass magnificent.
Away swinging corner. Oh, Saka's missed his kick on the edge of the penalty area. It's bounced up, and the PSG supporters shouted for a handball as it bounced up and hit his hand, but the arm in the natural position. Marquinhos theatrically throws his head to the heavens after a brief dialogue with the referee complaining the penalty should have been given their way. Even by UEFA standards and their interpretation of the handball law, it was never going to be given. Fabian Ruiz cut out in the midfield. Chance for Ødegaard. Flick forward. And Trossard will chase, but it'll go through to Safanov away to our right-hand side. 16 minutes in. And it's 1-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Ødegaard just trying to help it up with a little scoop pass. Just put too much on it on that occasion. And your heart's in your mouth in that earlier corner. It's just bounced in front of Saka. He's had a sort of fresh air swing at it, but it's bounced up towards his arms. It's probably hit his arms with the reaction of the PSG players, but certainly no intention.
I think it hit his arm via a deflection off his leg, which certainly would have aided his cause. PSG head the ball forward. It's just brushed off Mosquera on its way out for a throw that Paris Saint-Germain have taken quickly. Come into this game on the back of 11 wins in 15 league and cup games and 5 wins in their last 6 Champions League ties, the exception being the 1-1 draw against Bayern Munich in the second leg of the semi-final. Arsenal, of course, unbeaten in all 14 Champions League ties they played this season, and they've won all but 3 of them. PSG turning with Doué, who's cropping up on the left now. That's allowed Kvaratskhelia to pick up possession and move into a central area and find Fabian Ruiz.
Yeah, the Arsenal centre-backs on many an occasion have got nobody to mark, but it's a game of concentration when the centre-forward vacates that area.
First ball for Kvaratskhelia, he just tried to flick it with a back heel, back towards Dembele, in behind him. The clearance down the Arsenal left from Trossard wasn't great. PSG will pick it up in a more central area in the midfield again with Fabian Ruiz, who rolls his studs over the top of the ball to work it back for Vitinha. Vitinha to Nuno Mendes and down to Desiré Doué, coming in off the PSG left. He's level with the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. He tries to cut in between Mosquera and Saka. Mosquera stopped him and Saka brings the ball away. Mosquera almost turned down a cul-de-sac but was able to find Lewis Skelly in behind him. Declan Rice then gets it back to his keeper and it's cleared long upfield looking for Havertz. Pacho beating him in the air. A header turn by João Neves back for Nuno Mendes. Long ball pumped forward from him. Saliba's got it under control and then turns and guides it away from Fabian Ruiz to find his goalkeeper David Raya, and it's 1-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah, the contrast between the two teams. PSG look very, very confident in building up through the back. Arsenal not so much. There's a little bit of panic in there on occasion, and they've just got to try and keep the ball and take the sting out of any PSG attack by keeping possession.
Kai Havertz 6-minute goal, the difference in the 2026 Champions League final. João Neves to Vitinha. Again, no thought of an Arsenal press. You saw how much success Bayern had pressing Arsenal, scoring 4 goals in the first leg of that semi-final, but it was never likely to be Arsenal's MO tonight. Ball goes out to the Parisian right. Hakimi, claiming that he's won a throw, has actually conceded one. It's come back off in Capier and then into Hakimi before bouncing over the line for an Arsenal throw in their left-back position.
Arsenal will be pleased when this game just settles down a little bit. As I say, that goal advantage is so big, such a big lift for the club, the fans and everything, and they just need to ease their way back in. When you've got something to hang on to rather than PSG dominating the ball, all of a sudden the alarm bells ring a little bit. When you've got the goal advantage, you're more likely to accept that mentally.
Marquinhos right through the midfield towards Nuno Mendes. And Kvaratskhelia. Arsenal played in a host of European finals down the years. This one has already gone better than several of the predecessors. They've not had a good record in the showpiece events in recent times. Not just that Champions League final 20 years ago, but remember the dreadfully dull 0-0 draw with Galatasaray in Copenhagen back in the UEFA Cup final in 2000. The ball chipped over the top here by Vitinha, straight through for David Raya. He can bring it out comfortably and look to quickly bowl it forward towards Leandro Trossard. Trossard gets it down the left-hand touchline for Kai Havertz, who wins the throw. In fact, Arsenal have lost each of their last 5 European finals. Beaten by Chelsea and Barcelona. A game against Galatasaray, Super Cup defeat in Milan. Now Zaragoza in the Cup Winners' Cup final, deep in extra time. We'll go back to 1994 for the last time that they triumphed in a European Cup final, or in a European Cup final, as opposed to a European Cup final. It's Alan Smith with the Cup Winners' Cup final winning goal in Copenhagen against Parma back in 1994. Arsenal in possession on the left-hand touchline. Win a throw, take it quickly. The referee said that it wasn't their throw to take.
I would debate that. I think it was an Arsenal throw.
Well, Cappier certainly thought so, and immediately chucked it down the left-hand touchline for Kai Havertz. Well, the referee's pulled play back, and Keeney now taking the throw for PSG. Just kept in by Trossard, who hits an aerial ball, but a safe one. Back for David Raya, and his fluorescent yellow away to our left, and he's cleared long over halfway onto the head of Pacho, heading it full, brought down by Luis Skelly. Strong defensive tactics from Marquinhos, beating Trossard to the ball. Doué chipped over the top, slight miscue, allows Dembele possession. Semi-mistake there from Saliba. Dembele down towards Kvaratskhelia. Again looking for the intricate back heel flick. Didn't come off this time either. And it's really well defended by Mosquera. Flicks it into Fabian Ruiz and out of play for an Arsenal throw. And midway through the first half. And Arsenal lead it 1-0.
Yeah, just gone into a drinks break here. These early exchanges between Kvaratskhelia and Mosquera are so important. They sow seeds in each player's mind. Mosquera's dealt with him very, very well at the moment. He's gone in there, he's stayed on his feet, he's forced the ball back when he's had to, and any time they've tried to take him on, he's dealt with that, and that's really big. As a fullback, you get beaten once or twice early on, and all of a sudden the encouragement that gives to the wide player.
I mean, right back has been a problem position for them. Timber injured for the last couple of months, although if you're just joining us, he is back on the bench. No, Ben White, who's been his deputy, of 3 different right backs in the last 3 games coming into this, including Zubamendi in the match against Palace. There's Mosquera today, and he's had a fine start to the game. Arsenal at large have had a fine start to the game. Just having another look at the goals, Stuart, on our monitor. Marquinhos just flicking it forward, it hit Trossard, and then Havertz did the rest, and goalkeeper gave up his wicket.
See, what tends to happen, remember when Peter Schmeichel was one of the first in the Premier League to come out and spread himself. All of a sudden, word gets around. If you go through one-on-one with Schmeichs, roll it through his leg, because that's the vulnerable area at that stage. Now, goalkeepers are sort of got a low centre of gravity, got their arms by their side to make themselves spread, and almost saying, if you're shooting it, it's my body, I've done my work. If you can get it up shoulder height and beyond, there's no reaction from the goalie as we're watching on the replay once again. I know it's close quarters, but that's a giveaway for me. You've got to do better than that.
Doesn't take anything away from its significance or validity, of course. 24 minutes in, PSG 0, Arsenal 1. We've had the drinks break. It's not nearly as hot in Budapest today as it has been over the last 48 hours. There is a breeze pitch side, the conditions not as airless and stifling as they would have been had the game been played this time yesterday, but nevertheless hot enough, and it is close, it has to be said. So that's why the players having a drinks break. We'll get used to that in the World Cup, which is coming your way. All 104 matches from the FIFA World Cup, starting June the 11th. There will be a drinks break of 3 minutes in each half in each of them. England bring the ball forward with Luis Skelly. Down towards Martin Ødegaard to Saka. Saka for the Arsenal. Right-footed ball inside the penalty area. Goalkeeper's come out. He's got a hand to it. Flicked it towards the edge of the penalty area and then has stayed down holding his head, sensing perhaps that there was danger around him. PSG got it clear for him, and the referee will come across and see if Safanov needs any attention, but that was a perceptive ball in from the Arsenal right. There is a vulnerability to crosses in this PSG back line, and Arsenal very nearly exposed it then.
What a super ball that was by Saka, straight across the 6-yard box, and basically Safanov has clashed with his own player basically, and a bit tough on Arsenal, but they weren't the ones to get on top of the ball that's ended up being squirmed to the edge of the box. But top play by Arsenal, and they just need to, it's a mentality thing with Arsenal now. They've got their nose in front. Do you keep driving forward, or do you try to wrestle some sort of possession-based dropping-off game? So it's not always easy, and that an early goal always sounds brilliant on paper, but sometimes plays with your mind about your tactical approach at that stage.
The camera has just panned to Luis Enrique, and there was some concern etched across his face, notably with his goalkeeper being down injured, as well as the situation of the game. But what's going through Luis Enrique's mind at the moment? What does his side need to do in advanced areas to create more opportunities? Because so far, 27 minutes in, Stu, they've had one off-target attempt. That's been it.
Yeah, I think their build-up play's been very good. What I would say is, in the wide areas, as we saw in the games where they were free scoring and teams were scoring against them sort of thing, it's the wide areas where they had the most joy. Now, they've had some brilliant creative play, Bondoué and Kvaratskhelia on this side, but they've not got beyond the Arsenal backline, and Arsenal have held firmly at this moment in time.
Well, he's still down receiving treatment. You called it absolutely spot on as always. Just got a caught on the top of his blonde head by the knee of one of his fellow defenders who's trying to hurdle him to get out of the way. We've got Lucas Chevalier, the French international goalkeeper, who hasn't played for 4 months, warming up, and he would be the player who would come on if Safonov isn't in a position to continue. Started the season as first choice, but lost his place. Chevalier seemingly will be second choice if Safonov can't continue. It looks as though he is going to be all right. You listen to Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions Leagues, live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. More live football coming your way with Soccer A from the London Stadium tomorrow here on TalkSport. And then we're a week away from the first of 2 England warm-up games in Tampa, Florida, which takes place next Saturday night, 9 o'clock BST for England, New Zealand, live from the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa next Saturday night. Safonov's okay, and we're able to continue with PSG restarting with a drop ball. Marquinhos clears towards halfway. Seconds one in the midfield by the retreating Ødegaard, who headed it back. Rice wanted to make sure it didn't clear him, so he then nodded it straight back forward, but ensured that the Parisians were going to be able to pick up loose possession again, and they have it with Kvaratskhelia coming towards the halfway line. Ball scooped with the outside of the left boot. A superb pass from Nuno Mendes out towards Ousmane Dembélé, coming inside the penalty area. A little twist and a turn, and then a cross that was blocked well by Nkapie. He's got it back again though, Dembélé. Corner of the penalty area, bottom right corner of the box is where you look at it. Can't get himself into a crossing position. Pulls it back for Vitinha, who, as always, is making them tick. Dembele's ball inside the penalty area. He can't clear. Saliba and Gabriel. They've headed it away, and there was then a coming together off the ball involving Gabriel and Dembele is down, holding his head, and then his knee. Doesn't know which to hold for longer. He keeps swapping between the pair of them. Nuno Mendes, I beg your pardon, is down there hurt at the moment. Play will continue with Hakimi down by the corner flag. Brisk ball from him back towards Dembele. We're just playing round Nuno Mendes at the moment. Inside the penalty area. It's flicked back inside the box. Doué goes down. Referee has a look. No penalty given. And Nkapie will be able to clear and get it forward towards halfway. Still, the PSG left back is down hurt. Safonov's got the ball at his feet. Referee tells him, get on with it, play on. And now Marquinhos will tap it out of play so that Nuno Mendes can be treated if necessary.
Yeah, another good challenge in the box by Gabriel there. He's gone to ground. You've got to be careful when that happens. My God, that looks so minor by Mendes. It was incredible. For him to stay down that length of time with what we've just seen is intriguing. I'm just going to go back to the Mendes point. The reason why he's ended up in the box, Saka's confronted by something that not too many fullbacks do. Saka's got to press the fullback and he just drives past you with the ball inside and outside, and Saka's got to do his defensive work, and it's fair to say wingers don't quite enjoy doing that work.
It's 1-0 to Arsenal. It has been for 25 minutes. We play 31. We'll talk sport here in Budapest. And Raya comes out of his penalty area, and it was the right decision. Looked for a moment as though it wasn't going to be. And Fabian Ruiz couldn't get there to tap it past him. He was just outside the box, and he flicked it with his right foot and put it into touch. Out of play for a quickly taken throw. Back for Vitinha. Vitinha and Kvaratskhelia exchanging passes again. Now Vitinha goes to Marquinhos, playing in his third Champions League final. 1-1 and lost one. Dembele for Vitinha. Nuno Mendes is okay after going down inside the penalty area a couple of minutes ago. 10 yards outside the box, maybe a little bit further as he just plays it square to Vitinha. Hakimi will come forward. Hakimi guiding it out to the Parisian right, and then in a position to receive a little reverse ball. Back from him to Doué. Marquinhos, the captain, with the yellow armband, very visible even from our lofty vantage point here. Comes down towards Kvaratskhelia. Works square to Fabian Ruiz. Arsenal still with everybody behind the ball. They're condensed within 32 yards of David Raya's goal at the moment. It's forcing PSG to go across the horseshoe from left to right. They will play more proactive balls between the lines, but Arsenal able to repel them at the moment. Vitinha with a wonderfully disguised little chip ball forward. Now Kvaratskhelia playing on the right. Hakimi back with Dembele. Left-footed ball clipped in from him. And Arsenal's patient defending is rewarded as David Raya comes out and catches it.
Now I'm just looking at Havertz's position, really deep there, almost an auxiliary midfield player. I wonder whether that was in the thinking of Arteta with the selection between him and Gyökeres.
Yeah, could well have been. He's done a fine job off the ball at the moment, but Arsenal have another corner to defend here as Desiree Doué plays it straight into Nkapie. It's Parisian's third corner so far. It's 1-0 to Arsenal. Kai Havertz with the goal on 6 minutes. After Marquinhos clearance hit Trossard. And Havertz with a fine finish made it 1-0. Corner work short. Flicked inside the penalty area. Nuno Mendes chipping it in. Pacho left it thinking that Dembele coming in behind him might get there first. Now the ball has gone out of play for a throw. And Nuno Mendes picked up a ball from the touchline to take a throw. The original match ball came his way, and he tried to boot it away from the playing surface and smacked it straight at Mikel Arteta. It bounced off his shins. It was a clear accident, acknowledged immediately as such by Arteta. There was a hand of apology. Ball inside the penalty area is cleared, and he goes out for another PSG throw in an advanced position, 10 yards from the corner flag, taken quickly back towards Doué. Now from here to Marquinhos. 10 minutes to go to half-time, but already there's going to be at least 5 minutes added on. Pacho coming forward. Fabian Ruiz always showing for him in support. Given away by Nuno Mendes. Arsenal looking to break, bring the ball forward from the midfield. Rice down the right-hand side. It's a good run here from Saka. Pacho played him onside, and Nuno Mendes comes across and sweeps his legs away. I thought he was going to get the first yellow card of the day. The referee probably did as well for a moment, but then thinks better of it. He's given the free kick. It's nothing more than a lecture for Nuno Mendes. But an Arsenal set piece in a good area here out by the right-hand touchline.
I think both Trossard and Saka have probably got to hold the ball up and carry the ball I wouldn't say that little bit better, a little bit more clinically, let's say, if Arsenal are going to relieve the pressure of the possession play that PSG have got. You know, they're getting it forward on occasion. Someone's got to be the ball carrier to get them up 30, 40 metres up the pitch, buy them territory, buy them time.
PSG defending this zonally. 6 inside the penalty area for Arsenal. And the movement across the near post, as we've seen so many times, is followed by a whistle from the referee. Has indicated there's been a push there by Gabriel. And a free kick given Fabian Ruiz his way inside his own penalty area.
Yeah, I think Gabriel was unfortunate there. I think Havertz got in his way. Otherwise he'd have had a slightly better header at the situation.
1-0 Arsenal lead it. 9 minutes to go to half time. Coming together in midfield, no foul by Doué. PSG will be able to break. First time they've been able to get the numbers forward with any real speed. 4 against 4. Great defending again. Gabriel threw himself into the line of fire. And Arsenal win the seconds to clear it towards halfway. Marquinhos flicking a right leg around Kai Havertz. But he could only steer it down towards Trossard. Trossard losing out to Doué. Doué getting back to his feet after just a little clip on the ankles. And Arsenal come back and win it back was Ødegaard. Doué thought he was fouled. Referee significantly didn't. And Arsenal will bring it away down the right-hand side. The near touchlines, the kick from left to right as we look at it. And bring it forward here with Saliba. Good strong run from him. Arsenal number 2 through the midfield towards Havertz. Hakimi came to meet Havertz, just fouled him. Referee with Arsenal in possession waves play on. Acknowledges the foul and plays the advantage. Trossard back for Lewis Skelly, who's hardly put a foot wrong so far, the 19-year-old. Wide from him out to Trossard. Trossard to Gabriel, back inside his own penalty area for Raya, who has kept 9 clean sheets in the Champions League so far this season. Probably the first goalkeeper ever to keep 10 in a single campaign. He's got a winner's medal to his name if he can. The ball goes out of play for a throw as Raya drives it forward, and it's just sailed over the line. A throw will be taken by PSG on the right-hand side. 1-0 to the Arsenal, 7 minutes to go to half-time.
Yeah, it almost looks as though when PSG press, one of the Arsenal players has got what you would say is put the ball at risk and drive past somebody, you know. If not, then the ball comes back a little bit too readily. On that occasion, it was Saliba that done exactly that.
England have beaten India by 26 runs in the second Women's T20 to level the 3-match series. So 1-1 there after a 26-run victory. It's 1-0 to Arsenal here. Vitinha. Kvaratskhelia in his white boots, playing it inside right for the moment. Arsenal fans at the moment drowning out their Parisian counterparts, buoyed by the situation in the match. First time they've ever led a Champions League final with 11 men on the field. High ball inside the penalty area, bounces down for Kvaratskhelia. Left-hand side of the box, he's pulled it back here for Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes flicking it in, headed away well by Gabriel. Goes down towards the far touchline and Havertz can't keep it in. Will stop Hakimi taking the throw quickly. Hakimi then wrestles the ball out of Havertz's grasp. Havertz ends up face down and knees down on the turf. And it's going to be a throw to PSG.
I'll tell you what I enjoy about both teams' attacking play, especially probably more so PSG. They get it in wide areas, but they don't overdo it. They put the ball in the box, so they ask questions all the time. There's been times I've probably watched Man City over time, and you think it goes wide, it has to come in the box eventually. It doesn't, it gets recycled. PSG are happy to recycle it on occasion, but you do know that ball is coming in.
I said that he just wrestled the ball out of Kai Havertz's grasp. He did so by clotheslining him. It was like being back in 1976 watching Jim Breaks on World of Sport. Which is the way that the arm went up. There's one for the kids. Who, Grandad?
No.
Here's Vitinha getting it forward. Through the midfield towards Fabian Ruiz. It's 1-0 to Arsenal. Kai Havertz, 6-minute goal. We've got 5 minutes to go to half-time. There's going to be a stack of stoppage time to be added on. Marquinhos. Now for Fabian Ruiz. So far, PSG haven't had a single attempt on target. 2 off-target shots. That's been it. Arsenal haven't had a sight of Safanov's goal since the goal. Haven't needed one so far. Nuno Mendes tries to play a raking ball forward. Slightly missed by Gabriel. It's going to bounce on the right-hand side of the penalty area, but ball teased back in by Hakimi was really poor. And Arsenal can clear. Comes down for Vitinha. Ødegaard ends up on the deck for a moment. And now João Neves will play it out to the PSG right. It's a return ball from Hakimi. Now a little 1-2 with Kvaratskhelia. Georgian comes forward. This familiar approach. He slows it down to walking pace. And then has the ability to play such a deft, quick pass when you least expect it. Arsenal clear. Put it out of play for a throw, which they will take over on the far touchline there. Right, 3.5 to go to half-time here on TalkSport. Kai Havertz with the only goal so far. Kvaratskhelia again here for PSG. Hakimi ahead of him. Ball back in for João Neves. Now to Pacho, to Fabian Ruiz. It's been a familiar pattern with PSG having possession 15 yards outside the Arsenal box, but still having 11 to play through. Fabian Ruiz again. Slightly more aerial crossfield ball for Marquinhos. And he comes towards the right-hand side for Hakimi. Hakimi to João Neves, back for Vitinha, back outside the penalty area again. Vitinha coming forward. Kvaratskhelia coming onto his right foot, thought about his shot, then thought better of it. Looks as though Rice was going to be able to block it. Comes out for Nuno Mendes, taking on Mosquera. Gets towards the byline, back through the 6-yard box, and a header, a flying header, goes over the bar. Met by Fabian Ruiz. Very sharp chance because it came in so briskly and slightly behind him, but he couldn't take it, and it stays 1-0.
Yeah, really good play by there. It was Mendes on this swing. He's gone past Mosquera, first time of the day. But Arsenal had bodies there, and Capia was magnificent. That's where you should be if you're a left back, inside or level with a far post when that ball comes flashing across the face of goal. Anything over your head, you've got a second chance. If the forward gets across you, you're done and dusted. The ball's in the net. Great defending. And Arsenal have done that, haven't they, Jim? To be fair, a couple of Gabriel tackles, positional play of the players.
Well, the defending has been superb. Redland are the side that have kept 10 clean sheets in the last 15 games. PSG, for their part, though, have scored in each of their last 27 matches. So Arsenal realistically will know it's going to be a superhuman effort for 1-0 to be enough. Might need a second goal, but they could hardly have been more pleased with the way that the first half has gone. The game plan has been executed magnificently. See a chance, take it, defend stoutly, and they have done exactly that. Doué trying to bring the ball down on the halfway. He can do so. And then turns, gets away from the retreating Luis Skelly. Doué down to the PSG left. Kvaratskhelia coming forward onto it, getting it onto his right foot. Back for Marquinhos. Marquinhos threaded forward. Dembele twisting, left-footed shot, way over the bar, and ends up about 12 rows back in the Arsenal fans away to our left-hand side. And in the final scheduled minute of the first half, with the lead still intact.
I'll tell you what, some of PSG's build-up play is very, very kind on the eye, but I've got to tilt my hat to Arsenal's defensive work. They've got a lovely structure about their defending. They've got players in the right slots, and they're denying the opportunities for PSG. And I'm just sending that message out now to Adrian at half-time, where he's going to say to me, defending is not a dirty word.
Well, we're 45 minutes in, but the official stats show that Arsenal have only completed 56 passes.
And where they've had a problem is in that advanced area. Like I said, when they've turned it over, they need a ball carrier or someone to gain ground and get the extra pass or two in, and just put PSG on the back foot territorially.
Well, Havertz scored 6 minutes in. We've got another 6 minutes to play in the first half by way of stoppage time. That's just been signified by the fourth official, Sandro Scher. Mosquera taking a throw for Arsenal, back for Saliba to Gabriel. Gabriel knocks it back for David Raya. Raya driving it forward very quickly. Safonov coming out and heading it away. It's a good header as well over the top of the Arsenal back line. Rice had to retreat really quickly to be able to get something on that. PSG picking up with Vitinha, 15 yards inside the Gunners' half. Back behind square from him to Fabian Ruiz. Kvaratskhelia. Arteta animated just outside his technical area. Kvaratskhelia back outside the box. Vitinha faced up by Luis Skelly, who doesn't engage, but he forces Vitinha to work the ball to the Right-hand side for Ousmane Dembele. In from him, Dembele will continue a third-man run. Luis Skelly poking it back inside his own penalty area deliberately, and then Gabriel can get it away. Blue-booted Brazilian towards halfway, but only as far as Pacho. Pacho to Nuno Mendes, down for Kvaratskhelia again. Possession, as it has been almost throughout, mid-70s for PSG. Arsenal, resilient and resolute. Here's Desiree Doué, scored in last season's final, but then most of them did. Back from Marquinhos, in towards Vitinha. Vitinha to Doué again, left-footed rising drive, way off target, and Arsenal forcing PSG to take opportunities from unfathomable positions, really, because they can't get closer with the ball at their feet.
Yeah, and that is the biggest compliment PSG can play Arsenal's defending. You picked up on that point brilliantly, Jim. When you start shooting from areas where you haven't got the ball under control and you shouldn't be shooting from, that is an element of frustration, and there's no doubt about it. I think PSG are the better technical side in this encounter, but Arsenal's defensive work and team ethic is fantastic.
Well, they've only conceded 24 goals in the last 39 Champions League games since their return to this competition under Mikel Arteta. And if we can still say that in an hour and a half's time, they're European champions. Chance for a second here. Havertz going through. Marquinhos with a tackle. And it's ricocheted high up in the air. Safanov comes out, catches the ball and bowls it out to the right-hand side.
Oh, brilliant interchange. Mirror image, different side of the pitch for Havertz, and I think he was attempting to do exactly what he did before, but he's opened his left foot up and just took too long, and it was a good defensive challenge that stopped the issue. But you know, they needed an opportunity like that, and they might well need a second goal to lift the trophy, Arsenal.
So here's featured Kvaratskhelia again, who himself has scored 10 goals in this competition this season. Vitinha in the central area, 15 outside the box, to his right-hand side for Dembele, and then a little flick of Trossard on the way through is all important to stop Hakimi getting a free cross in from only about 10 yards from goal. It is another corner, it could have been much worse. Good defending from Trossard.
Everyone's got to pull their weight in this defensive lineup. They really have. It was Trossard then with a last dip slide, putting it out for a corner, but once again Mosquera dealing with his man really well.
Fabian Ruiz standing right in front of the goalkeeper. The corner delayed. The referee didn't like the look of the pushing that was going on there. In comes the corner now, swept away and headed further clear by Saliba. Coming outside the penalty area for Vitinha. Live in Budapest, TalkSport, first half injury time, 1-0 Arsenal lead. Shot on target from Fabian Ruiz, spill. Such was its ferocity by David Raya, but he can comfortably gather at the second attempt, and it was good defending in front of him from Gabriel, who stopped Marquinhos getting a run towards the ball to be first to the rebound. Raya then punts it immediately upfield, and it's gone straight out of play for a PSG throw, but that's the first shot on target that he's had to deal with.
Yeah, it was. I think, I'm not sure I'm giving the player credit, maybe I am, maybe I ain't. I think he's looking to sort of hitch kick it across the face of goal, a sort of shot cross really. It's ended up swiping across it, it's on target, and the curl that he's put on it nearly caught Raya out.
Well, we played 5 of the 6 added minutes, and the ball has gone out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Arsenal right-hand side. Remember, they have only trailed for 43 minutes in the Champions League this season. That was at Bayer Leverkusen. They led in the Champions League final for 39 minutes in 2006. They have led in this one now for longer.
There's some record, by the way, against the top teams in Europe, Jim. Incredible.
Well, they've cleverly just run a few seconds off the clock here with the debate about who's going to take this throw for us. It was always going to be Declan Rice, but they made out that it wasn't. And what they've done by running those seconds off the clock, they have ensured that this will be the last attacking phase of the game, of the first half. Rice with a long throw towards the near post, looking for a flick off an Arsenal player. In it comes again from Mosquera, headed down and away, and the referee gives a corner right at the end of the half, won by Havertz, which will be taken on the Arsenal right.
and this could be panic stations here for PSG. They'll be acutely aware of the prowess of Arsenal from corners, and in all honesty the body language suggests that their eyes have lit up here, Arsenal, and they see a great opportunity to extend their lead, and they've put big numbers in the box.
Nearly everybody forward, and then they're just setting up to take the corner, and the referee's blowing the half-time whistle. And Luis Enrique waves his players off the field. Well, that's mystifying, because he must have known that the 6 minutes were up. And he pointed to the corner flag, and everybody then set up, and then he said there's no time to take it. Well, Arsenal have the lead as they leave the field, and moment of controversy right at the end of the first half. The team that has scored first has won each of the last 11 Champions League finals. Can Arsenal make that 12 to be crowned kings of the continent? They're halfway there. PSG 0, Arsenal 1. Well, they're halfway there. So far they have not even come close to being living on a prayer. We're back on the way for the second half with no changes in personnel from either team. Arsenal have been magnificent so far, albeit that they've hardly seen any of the ball. Run through the 2-11s for you in a moment. Arsenal in their famous red and white, kicking from right to left. PSG launching this first attack of the second half. Kvaratskhelia coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. The ball in. Gabriel able to knock that away with a high hoisted clearance that comes outside the penalty area. Fabian Ruiz going up for it. It's come off him last and has gone out of play for an Arsenal throw. This game brought to you in association with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Arsenal with Raya in goal, Mosquera, Saliba, Gabriel and Nkapie, Rice and Luis Skelly, Saka, Ødegaard and Trossard, and Havertz, the goal scorer, as the referee goes across and produces a yellow card to Christian Mosquera for delaying the restart. It's a throw to Arsenal, and he has taken his time about it. And the referee said enough is enough, I'm not standing for any more. He gave him the warning right at the end of the first half, and Mosquera is in the book. PSG, Safanov in goal, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pancho and Nuno Mendes, Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, João Neves, Doué, Dembele and Kvaratskhelia. The front three it is, as always, with PSG, a very movable feast. Plenty of rotation. Marquinhos driving it forward. Doué trying to flick it on. And Arsenal doing well to win it back with Saliba. Then striding forward against his countryman Doué, who's fouled him. And it's a free kick to Arsenal, 15 yards inside PSG territory. 2 gone second half, 1-0 to Arsenal. And here's Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, Arsenal have got to make sure they're just getting back in that routine again. Players back behind the ball. Just, if they can, just keep it a little bit longer than they have been.
So the free kick is taken short. And towards Leandro Trossard on the Arsenal left. Back from him to Rice. Rice's ball in. Diving headed clearance comes from Marquinhos to get it away. Rice then nodding it down for Trossard again. Under pressure from Doué. He's been able to keep the ball in. Feeds Miles Lewis Skelly. And the 19-year-old chips it forward down to the left, looking for Trossard, and that's headed away by Hakimi and out for a throw that Nkapie has taken really quickly and intelligently. Hakimi did well to read it, didn't get caught on his heels. He was able to come back and knock it away. But Trossard picks it up again. It's in front of the Arsenal technical area as he lays it back with Declan Rice. Rice to Saliba, played forward between the lines. Ødegaard clipped it into the heels of Declan Rice, and PSG will bring it away and then win a throw. Third leg taken quickly with Fabian Ruiz, who has drifted out very wide on the left-hand touchline on frequent occasions for PSG. And that has occasionally looked like being a profitable avenue for them, but Arsenal have just defended so well so far. Dembele, really deep. Followed every step of the way. Again by the defender Nkapie. Vitinha. Getting from João Neves. And the pair in between will be able to bring the ball forward. It's a good, strong, marauding run. Good movement off the ball from Nuno Mendes, who's got it in the Arsenal penalty area. Pulled back, heavy touch from Vitinha. Stopped him getting a shot in. And Arsenal will be able to clear forward towards Havertz, who's just waved back up to his feet by the referee. So there was no foul. PSG come again with Desiree Doué. Right-footed ball swept in, too deep for everybody. And out of play for an Arsenal goal kick that David Raya will take. 4 gone second half. 40 minutes here for Arsenal to hold on.
Yeah, top quality play there by Paris. Played right through into Arsenal's box. Just a numbers game, really, that ended up killing the attack. But that's what Arsenal were in it for, the numbers game on occasion.
Well, the managerial merry-go-round is gathering pace. Several leaving their Premier League clubs already since the end of last season, including Arne Slot today. And in the Championship, we understand that Blackburn may well be about to appoint Dave Challinor. TalkSport understanding that Challinor is leaving Stockport County, beaten playoff finalists in League One. He has been linked with the job at Ewood Park. More on that and everything else besides at TalkSport.com. 5 minutes gone in the second half. It was at this stage of the first half that Arsenal scored the goal. João Neves getting forward here for Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia coming through the midfield. He's got Dembele, plenty of space on the right hand side. He's done really well to retain the ball and feed it down to Ousmane Dembele. PSG's leading scorer, but he can't find a way past Nkapie, who then will clear past Hakimi. Ball bounces inside the centre circle. Pacho and Marquinhos had to make sure they got the lines of communication right. They did. They got it back to their goalkeeper Safanov, and he'll play out for the back to find Coutinho. There's still no real hint of a chance for Arsenal in the second half so far, but they don't need there to be at the moment, providing the defensive work continues to be as good as it is. Erdegaard's given a free kick away, but well inside PSG territory. Just caught Hakimi. That's a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, Arsenal have picked up like they left off the first half. Great rotation in their defensive work, and when the ball has gone into the penalty box, they've had numbers in and around clinical areas.
Arteta was asked in the press conference yesterday about the game between these two in the semi-final last season, and he said that he's recently watched the second leg of it again, and he was really encouraged in watching it. He said because he could see how Arsenal have developed over the last 12 months, and he said that there's been a transformation in PSG as well. But certainly there has been a development in this defensive ability that Arsenal have had, and it's better now than ever before. Arteta was making the point, without asking for a yellow card directly for João Neves as the ball went out of play, he was making the point that Mosquera had just been booked a few minutes ago for taking his time over a throw at one end, and was João Neves taking liberties at the other. And when he eventually hurried up and took the throw, it was a foul throw. So Arsenal get possession back. They'll work it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Safanov cleared first phase of play, then gets it back from Marquinhos.
Yeah, ball just hurriedly cleared there. Not a great ball forward, but it was a decent ball into feet for Havertz, and you've got to hold that up. For the sake of your defensive work, you've got to hold that up.
Gabriel back for Raya. Raya in his yellow goalkeeping garb, clearing high over halfway. Trossard going up for it. Just made it back there for João Neves, and the free kick goes PSG's way. Play it back for Pacho. Pacho to Nuno Mendes. And now Coutinho again. Well, one of the common preconceptions about PSG is that if you're going to stop them playing, you've got to stop the ball going to Coutinho. Arsenal haven't necessarily tried to do that. They haven't gone man-to-man on him. They already played man-to-man anywhere, but they have been able to very effectively detail all of the potential passing lanes for Coutinho. So he's not been able to influence the game as much as he would, albeit that he's seen a lot of the ball. Dembele inside the penalty area here for João Neves. And his ball in is half cleared. Saka trying to help it further away. He's just caught Doué. Referee says play on, and then he's pulled it back as Doué's gone down holding his right ankle, and a yellow card is shown to Saka. Originally he said play on.
This is the farcical nature of football and refereeing on occasion here. The referee has reacted to the reaction of the player rolling on the floor. Literally, you called it right, Jim. He's played on. He didn't see a foul there in any way, shape or form. He's played on, and because the player rolled around and mimicked that he was injured, he thought, oh, there must be a foul.
Well, the reason he didn't think there was a foul originally was because there wasn't a foul. Because Doué has slid in to get the ball, he was out of control, and he's just kicked up and hit the underside of Saka's boot. Saka gets the yellow card, second of the Gunners contingent to be cautioned in the early stages of the second half. Mosquera was the first.
I just hope this referee doesn't make a decision that causes a game-changing moment, and to be fair, I've not been convinced with him up to this moment in time with some of his decision-making.
Well, the free kick that has been given PSG's way is 13 yards outside the penalty area. Nuno Mendes stands over it. Hakimi having a little look as well. It's almost dead centre. Probably is actually dead centre. Two in the wall. It's a right-footed effort that comes through the wall, and Raya is able to make the save. It was well struck by Hakimi. Got it on target, bounced awkwardly in front of Raya, but he gathered it very cleanly.
He certainly did. That wasn't easy, to be fair. It was bouncing in front of him, good pace on the ball. But he's not the best goalie in the Premier League for no reason, Jim.
Clean sheet still intact, PSG coming again. Kvaratskhelia just outside the penalty area. Out towards Desiree Doué. Doué shuffling the ball back down towards the corner flag, and then comes forward once more, finding the Georgian international. Kvaratskhelia that Arsenal so far have been able to keep quiet. Marquinhos, now to João Neves. Stepping up to knock it away was Nkapie. João Neves gets it back from Hakimi. Hakimi, the Moroccan who scored in the final last season, and plays it back and out towards Desiree Doué. Doué coming forward, shuffling the ball from the right foot to the left, working back again. Kvaratskhelia to Nuno Mendes. He will take it on, play it out to the left. First time ball in from Fabian Ruiz is blocked. There's out of play for a PSG throw. Well, they're seeing just as much possession in the second half as they did in the first, and that would have been widely anticipated. It does feel as though they're having it in slightly better areas. A slightly higher proportion of their possession is around the edge of the penalty area now. Kvaratskhelia, left-footed ball in from him, just a little bit too deep. Trossard should get there first. Oh, he tried to shepherd it over the line and couldn't. Wasn't a foul on him by Hakimi. Comes down for Fabian Ruiz, and his balling was really poor, and Trossard should be able to play it through his own penalty area to find his keeper, which he can, and the Spaniard Ryan will knock it forward upfield. Havertz trying to judge the bounce. Pacho throws himself into Havertz and wins the free kick.
Havertz should just deal with the ball there. He's looking for the player. Just deal with the ball, and if you buy a foul accordingly, so be it. But you've just got to deal with the ball. There's been a couple of times already that he just hasn't done that for his team, and it just causes problems. That ball keep coming back time and time again.
I apologise to Pacho. I said that he threw himself into Havertz. He didn't really, because Havertz turned, had a look over his shoulder to see where he was, and then took a deliberate half step back to make sure that the contact was initiated. Pacho was fouled. The referee got it absolutely right. Fabian Ruiz inside the midfield for Vitinha with 12 minutes into the second half. And that clock beginning to tick down significantly now. Arsenal have got more than halfway from the goal to the 90-minute mark. Haven't conceded. They lead 1-0. Remember, this is a PSG side that have scored in each of their last 27 games, have averaged nearly 2.5 goals a game in that time. They'll make their way forward now. More good defending, and Nuno Mendes has committed the foul. Mosquera just went with him, just stayed half a step in front of him. And the only way that he could try and win the ball was to initiate contact. Nuno Mendes, Mosquera felt it, went to ground, and he's bought a free kick that Arsenal will take inside their own box. 1-0 to the Arsenal.
Yeah, and as I say, they'll be delighted with that. I still got that little bit of concern, like we spoke of at half-time, Jim, that if PSG do find the way to the net, I worry about whether Arsenal have got the tools to spring back to win the game.
It does feel at the moment that if Arsenal are going to be lifting the trophy, then they're going to have to do it by winning 1-0. I mean, clearly that isn't the only way, but it feels much the most likely way at the moment. You're listening to Arsenal Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. And don't forget, all 104 games from the World Cup, prefaced by 2 England warm-up games in Florida against New Zealand and Costa Rica starting on Saturday. It's all to come live on the TalkSport network. Here in Budapest tonight, where the darker skies that we had before kickoff have cleared, and barely a white cloud in the sky now. The Arsenal fans will be delighted. What an hour of football this has been. They lead it 1-0. Coutinho turning into trouble. Rice is in there, so industrious and rumbustious. And then Saka winning it back, has fouled his man and is very quickly telling the referee that he thinks he's got the decision wrong. And you can tell by the reaction of the players from both sides now when the whistle blows. He's lost a bit of control, and the players have lost a little bit of faith in him now.
Yeah, his decision making's been awry at best, to be fair, and that's brought in a lot of frustration between both teams, not just Arsenal or PSG. And I think Arteta at this stage will be thinking, what are my substitutions? And more importantly, at this stage of the game, can I trust the...
There's Doué who brings it forward here, and it's again just flicked off Saliba. They're going to be able to bring it away and build again from deeper.
Can I trust those players coming on the pitch to do a defensive job for the team as well as an attacking one?
PSG won the first quarter of the second half. Scalia was the man that made his way forward. The Arsenal bench, incidentally, Timber, Calafiori, Zubamendi, Norgard, Marino, Eza, Martinelli, Madueke, Dauman, Jesus, Gyökeres. In comes the corner, vicious in-swing. Raya did well to beat it away. Bounces in front of Hakimi and then leaps up high. He can head it to his left for Vitinha. Way forward by him to Nuno Mendes, out towards Desiree Doué again. Scalia taking it on the half turn on the edge of the penalty area. Lovely little 1-2. It's gone down inside the penalty area, and the referee has given a penalty to Paris Saint-Germain.
I don't think the referee could wait to give a penalty, if I'm being honest with you, but a great little 1-2 there. And Kvaratskhelia gone, set it off, ducked in behind Mosquera. The only mistake potentially he's made, but it'll be interesting to see the replay again, Jim.
Well, PSG absolutely adamant that it was a penalty and saying that it's a yellow card offence as well, which would reduce Arsenal to 10 men. Because Mosquera picked up that yellow card controversially for delaying the restart. Of course, the incident is being checked. It hasn't been ratified as yet. A little 1-2 around the edge of the box. The angle we're seeing now, Stuart, gives you a better view, and he's got it right.
Yeah, spot on. And you've got to say, Kvaratskhelia, fantastic give and go. Got in behind, and Mosquera's got to have a swing at the ball, and he's given the penalty away. So the question is this a yellow card? I don't think he'll give one.
I know that referees don't think like this, but had he not given a yellow card in the first place, would he get a yellow card for that? If he wasn't on one?
Of course he would, without a doubt.
Well, from that point of view, if he doesn't get one, PSG will feel hard done by.
I think we've got a match-turning incident now.
Well, the check is over, and the penalty decision is ratified. I think the only surprise was that it took as long as it did for the incident to be ratified.
Yeah, unfortunate there, but when your team have so much of the ascendancy of the ball, they keep asking questions, probing around the box, that type of thing. And Mosquera, I've got to say, he's been absolutely faultless prior to this incident.
Well, David Raya is being spoken to by the referee. He and Marquinhos just involved in a little shoving match at one stage. They haven't got a great record in penalties this season. Paris Saint-Germain, they've missed 6 out of their 14 in games. If you include shootouts, they've missed 9. And will David Raya be able to be a hero? It's Ousmane Dembélé that will step forward and take it. He's missed 2 of his 6 over the course of the campaign. This is a monumental moment in Arsenal's season, in Arsenal's history. Penalty save now from David Raya, who's had the season of his life. Can he conjure it up? No, he can't. It's driven in past him into the bottom left-hand corner. Ousmane Dembélé with the equalising goal. Arsenal have led for nearly an hour, but they have been pulled back. Dembele's 20th goal of the season, and the 2026 final is all square again. The pyro let off immediately as soon as Raya committed himself, and Dembélé stroked the ball past him into the bottom left-hand corner. It's a sea of smoke and red flare away to our right. Arsenal now needing to show a little bit of red flare themselves to get their noses in front in this game. 65 gone and it's 1-1.
It is, and I'll tell you, it looks as though he's ringing the changes down there. There's that Timber, I think, coming on. Gyökeres is being readied as well, so a couple of changes for Arsenal. It's really important. This almost seems like a watershed moment, this equaliser, as though PSG are going to go on and win the game. We'll see some character now from Arsenal if they can turn it round. And Mosquera's coming off, and that's probably a wise move for the bookie.
He just couldn't take the risk, could he?
No, indeed.
Well, Yuri and Timber there, there had been a little bit of talk that potentially he was in a position to start this game. But they've just been resting him after his recuperation from injury over the last fortnight or so, and that he could have played a part had he had to. Maybe that's negated a little bit of the fact that he didn't start today. But Timber comes on now for 25 minutes, maybe plus extra time. The other change being made, we'll see Havertz drop deeper as Ødegaard comes off, and Victor Gyökeres is on to replace him. So the double change, Mosquera and Ødegaard off, and Timber and Gyökeres are the players that come on. 1-1 midway through the second half.
Yeah, we've got a game on our hands now. Arsenal have got a bit of an uphill task on their hands. They've obviously been denied a lot of possession. Sorry, Mendes just fell over there, so we thought Arsenal might get in. So it wasn't a Frankie Howard impression from me.
How did it go?
Something like that.
You are awful. What was that, Dick Emery? The ball worked forwards to leave the heads it away. Back in, Mendes stumbled and then actually was sitting on the ground. Mid-gulp from Stewart and was able to hack the ball away. Left foot, it was good defending, good recovery from it. PSG then win a free kick. It's 1-1. It's the PSG supporters that you can hear now. You're listening to Arsenal against Paris Saint-Germain. It's the Champions League final, live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. So Gyökeres on for his first ever game against Paris Saint-Germain. He ended the season with 9 in his last 15 Premier League matches. He's got more than a goal every other game throughout his Champions League career. Will he be able to muster something here? Arsenal still haven't had a shot on target in the hour since they took the lead through Kai Havertz. I suppose ostensibly in terms of game plan, not a lot needs to change from an Arsenal perspective. Okay, they don't have the lead, but they would, I think, probably be happy to take this to penalties.
Yeah, exactly. As I say, they're in a decent position at the moment. They've been dominated with the football. We understand that. We thought that might be the case. But they're in the game. They've been defending pretty stoutly. They've probably made one mistake defensively, and it's been costly.
Nuno Mendes plays the ball forward. Doué. It just drops in at number 6 for a moment, picks it up. It's a lovely switch of play out towards Achraf Hakimi, who brings it down in the corner of the penalty area and drives it in and wins the corner. PSG are really building up a head of steam now. This is going to be the stiffest examination yet of Arsenal's defensive record, not just today but within this whole Champions League campaign.
I've got to say, when Doué picks the ball up, he's got such a grace about him and a smooth cover of the ground, strokes the ball around beautifully.
Corner taken short into the feet of the aforementioned Desiree Doué. He's got it on the right-hand side of the box. He's got Dembele behind him. If he decides to backheel it, he's gone slightly behind square for Hakimi instead. Now Dembele driving it in, left-footed, too deep. And straight out of play for a goal kick that beats Pacho. And David Raya is going to take 69 gone. Had a drinks break in the first half. And we're now going to have one now, just past the midway stage. So, what's the message then from Mikel Arteta to his players as they go across, get some liquid on board and clinically get some instructions as well?
I think you've got to tell them, reinforce all the good that they've done up to this moment in time. Maybe a little bit of tactical. He's made the substitutions. Now he's got the group together. What do those substitutions look like? How do they affect things? I think they've got a runner in Gyökeres that's happy to gallop into the and hold things up a little bit more, and I think they need that. I've been a little bit critical of Havertz in the second half, just lost balls or looking for a physical challenge instead of just dealing with the ball. I think Gyökeres has got to give his team that outlet and that physical presence there, Jim.
The only game that Arsenal played all season in which they went 1-0 up and lost was against Manchester United. They had 4 draws but won 40. And in peg bag in this one, can they yet take the lead again? Still smoke hanging in the air, just wisping around the floodlights, which we're doing a little bit over on the far side. It's still a glorious early summer's evening here in Budapest, about 2.5 miles away from the River Danube. Lovely city. Will it go down in Arsenal history? Or is it going to go down in Arsenal history in the same way that Paris did in 2006? We'll hope not. Drinks break is over. Goal kick to Arsenal to restart play. 19 minutes to go, and again already we know that there's going to be a good 4-5 minutes of added time at the very least at the end of this game. Ball punted for by David Raya, headed away, bounces up awkwardly in front of Yuri and Timber, comes out to Trossard. Trossard tries to bend one in, it doesn't even reach the edge of the D. Such a speculative shot it was from the edge of the box. Then the ball goes out. Doué, with it having run out of play for a throw, just kicks it into the hoardings to stop Arsenal taking the throw quickly. 18 to go. 1-1. Havertz with the goal in 6 minutes. Dembele with the response from the penalty spot. Kvaratskhelia was brought down by Mosquera. Raya's missed his kick really, and he's just siphoned it out through the midfield. Down he comes now inside the penalty area for Ousmane Dembele. Dembele, poor shot. That was a worse shot than the pass out from Raya. He's even missed the side netting with his effort from not too tight an angle out on the right-hand side of the box. That was a let-off.
Yeah, I think Raya was trying to close his foot and just whip it round the PSG attacker to give it to Gabriel. He's got that wrong and too heavy, but I've got to say Gabriel's defensive work afterwards just stands on his feet, sends a message to the player with the ball: what you're going to do, how you're going to beat me. Top defending.
What a signing Gabriel has been. 261st Arsenal appearance today, and the most significant to date. Kvaratskhelia, left-hand side of the box. He's twisting. He's faced up by both Saka and Timber. He's laid the ball back through the midfield. Long-range shot coming in. Raya was just scrambling for a moment, but he knew from probably a second or so out that the effort was going to clear the bar from Vitinha. That's out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by William Saliba away to our right-hand side. 73 gone.
Yeah, shot from probably too far out to trouble Raya, but he's got some dip on it. I'll give him that, but he's well covered. And Arsenal have just got to steady the ship and get a feel-good factor in the opposition's half if they possibly can.
Might they be able to now as the ball is flicked on? Havertz with great strength might be able to play it in on the right-hand side of the box. Saka couldn't get there in time. Safanov, a relatively comfortable grab as he raced off the edge of the 6 and threw himself at the feet of Saka, made clean contact and grasped the ball. That was better from Arsenal in an attacking perspective. The game is, as was almost bound to be the case, now opening up. Hakimi down towards Zire Doué, wearing 14. Prodigiously talented youngster. Laying it back for Vitinha. Vitinha inside the centre circle to Pacho. Fabian Ruiz will take over. Shuffling forward, lays it out towards Kvaratskhelia, the former Napoli man. Last piece in Enrique's jigsaw. Back towards Vitinha.
There look some tired hombres out there in an Arsenal shirt at the moment. I think Havertz has got a bit of cramp, and the two players in the wide areas, I think, not tracking back as quickly as they were, and that could be dangerous against this mob.
Okay, time to make a change then. In terms of the wide players, you could bring Martinelli on one side, Madueke on the other. Zubimendi, obviously, though he's out of favour at the moment, but someone that could come on in the heart of the midfield. As Trossard has it, it's a lovely turn, buys himself a couple of yards of space. Is there an out ball? Saw Saka's run. A sense perhaps that the advancing Nuno Mendes was going to get him offside, so he's had to play back towards Luis Skelly, and Arsenal lost the initial momentum that they had. Doué then comes in and fouls Trossard. The free kick on the halfway line will be taken by Arsenal, but PSG have got the shake back now.
Yeah, as I say, just need a touch of the ball, Arsenal. It's difficult, you think you're tired, but if you've got the ball at your feet, you find that little bit more energy. Out of possession, so much more difficult.
I mean, would you advocate further changes? They've made the two.
I would think so at some stage, Jim, probably in the next couple of minutes. You know, we might have a bit of extra time. There's a mentality of penalties, where's your takers, that type of thing, but I think an injection of energy, someone that can go past somebody in wide areas, wouldn't be a bad thing.
So Arsenal have taken the free kick from the centre of midfield. Havertz plays it all the way back for Raya. Raya controls it. He had plenty of time to do so. Needed a bit. Then gets it forward left-footed. Coming to meet it still forward was Gabriel. It's cleared by Pacho. Out for a throw on the Arsenal left-hand side that Trossard is in a hurry to take. Plants it into the feet of Victor Gyökeres, who then gets it back, backing into Marquinhos. He's done well to retain possession. Chipped in there towards the penalty spot. Pacho heads it away. Comes back out for Trossard again, and the Belgian goes to his left. Nkapie, left-footed ball swept across the edge of the penalty area. The affable Dutchman Timber can pick it up. Timber forward towards Bukayo Saka. Saka shown inside onto his left foot, unleashed, but Kvaratskhelia affects the block. Cannons high up in the air, couple of headers on, and Pacho will be able to clear before Luis Skelly could get to a loose ball around the edge of the box. Rice winning it back, another attempt potentially from Saka, doesn't get the shot away. Pacho will clear again. Oh, Kvaratskhelia has done his man. And now, having beaten Saliba, to run forward towards the edge of the penalty area. There's danger here for Arsenal, and he's deflected onto the post and away for a corner, and they survive.
Well, clever play from Kvaratskhelia. The ball's come up and he's just committed Saliba to make the challenge, flicked it past him, and the cavalry charge was on towards Arsenal's goal. Really clever play there. But Timber was it who got across and just helped out Saliba. Oh, they got fortunate there.
Just came back off the outside of the post. The corner is taken. It's PSG 7th. Back outside the box for Nuno Mendes. Now towards Doué. Doué's ball in. João Neves flicking it on. That should be an Arsenal goal kick. Oh, he's given a corner.
Yeah, I think it was. I think he's got first contact, Timber there. And what Arsenal wouldn't give for 7 corners, Jim, you know?
Absolutely. They've only had one, and they didn't get to take that one. That was right at the end of the first half. So number 8 now for PSG incoming, and it's highly densely populated 6-yard box. And Doué go for the cheeky one over David Raya and in towards the top right-hand corner. It was Dembele, actually, I beg your pardon, fired it in. But too much on it. It's gone out of play for a goal kick that Raya will take.
Yeah, Arteta just in deep conversation with Gabriel Heinze there. And they'll be thinking, do we need to make a change? Do we not?
Well, here's Havertz. The situation might change here. Rights to Saka inside the penalty area. Again, can't turn. They double up on him so quickly. Whenever he turns inside, he's got João Neves and usually Nuno Mendes there. Then Luis Skelly's caught in possession by Doué. He's trying to foul him to allow Arsenal to get their shape back behind the ball. And he's done better than that in the end. He just got in front of Doué and made the young Frenchman's job difficult. And then he buys the free kick as contact is made between the pair of them. And he's really bailed himself out of a difficult situation there quite superbly.
He certainly has. As I say, he was under big pressure there. If Doué gets the wrong side of him, he's in big problems.
So a free kick. And we talked about the need for pace in wide positions, and we're going to see it. Noni Madueke about to come on. Martinelli will come on as well. You would imagine Saka and Trossard will come off. Trossard, though, might yet be able to have a say. Sliding inside the PSG penalty area, couldn't get it under control.
This game's getting too stretched from Arsenal's point of view for me at the moment. You know, they're having too many players wrong side of the ball, and those changes need to come in a hope that they can put PSG on the back foot territorially.
10 minutes to go. It's 1-1. Dembele to Fabian Ruiz to Vitinha, still making PSG tick as he has done every game for the last 2 years. Good ball in towards Nuno Mendes, an immediate return pass. A similar story with João Neves in the midfield. Twice. Now Vitinha plays it again out to the left. Havertz giving a watchful eye on Vitinha, but is never herring after him.
PSG looks as though they're quite happy with a breather at present.
Just 4 or 5 minutes. They've seen that the Arsenal change is going to be made, and they're just stringing the passes together in a deeper area, just to make sure that Luis Enrique is happy with what he needs to do. He's just in the consultation with Rafael Pol, his number 2 down beneath us. Kvaratskhelia coming inside the penalty area again, forced back outside the box before there was a challenge, and Arsenal will be able to bring it away and do so here with Timber. He got the halfway and then lost it, and now he's out of position, and PSG drive forward with Doué, who wins another corner. It's 1-1 on TalkSport. 9 minutes plus stoppage time before we go to extra time.
Well, we're in the territory if the next goal wins it. There's no doubt about that. Unless we get into extra time, then we hold our breath and go again. But at the moment, I think if anyone gets their nose in front, this game's finished.
Arsenal player goes down inside the 6-yard box before the corner is taken. It's Mars Luis Skelly. Fabian Ruiz just helping him back to his feet. 82 gone, 1-1. Havertz with a very early opener for the Gunners. PSG equalising from the penalty spot just past the hour mark. In comes this latest corner. The Parisians' 9th. The little near post flick header from Marquinhos. Too much on it. Out of play for a goal kick, and Arsenal will make the changes. PSG are going to make one of their own. First off for the Gunners is Trossard, and Martinelli coming on to replace him, and it is Saka who will make way on the other flank to be replaced by Noni Madueke. Bradley Barcola, a more than decent player to bring off the bench for PSG. But your thoughts on those 2 Arsenal changes, Stuart? You called it about 6-7 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think it's an absolute must. I think the wide players just run out of a bit of energy, and these 2 boys coming on now need to offer the team exactly that, especially Madueke on the right, Martinelli holding it up and manipulating the ball, Madueke driving at his fullback.
Well, the good news as far as Arsenal are concerned, they've seen off Kvaratskhelia, and Barcola is on to replace him. And Barcola, who scored his first goal in 10 games at Paris last time out, which was PSG's first defeat for a while. Some 13 days ago, they haven't played since. So Barcola on. Arsenal get it forward. Havertz can't quite bring it into his stride in the inside left channel in the penalty area. And it's clear. Back out for Nkapie. 6.5 plus maybe another 6 or 7 to go before we get to extra time. Nkapie coming forward again for the Gunners. Flick round the corner. Gyökeres can't get there ahead of Marquinhos, who clears it almost over his shoulder. And out of play for an Arsenal throw, but this is better, more purposeful, attacking play from Mikel Arteta's man.
I'll tell you what, I'd be absolutely delighted to see Kvaratskhelia go off if I was in an Arsenal shirt now.
I mean, Barkley's a good player to bring off the bench, don't get me wrong. But you've got rid of Kvaratskhelia. Rice to take this throw. A season in which set pieces are played an integral part of Arsenal's success. Have they got one more important set piece goal in them? Looping throw in towards the near post. He's headed on and missed and then cleared on the edge of the 6-yard box. Comes back out towards Saliba. PSG will be able to bring it away and will whack it forward upfield. Oh, Raya is going to come out and gets there. Just brilliant goalkeeping. Just got there. It looked as though Barkley was going to be able to nudge it past him, and Raya judged it to perfection. It's bolted out quickly. PSG have it back again. Saliba standing firm. Rice gets it forward. Martinelli and then Marquinhos wins it back. And he's going to be able to come forward and unleashes from distance. Declan Rice ends up wearing it, but he made sure the ball didn't get within 10 yards of his own penalty area. 5 to go. And it could be a long 5 minutes for Arsenal because it's all PSG in good areas. And there's so much killer pace for Paris Saint-Germain in wide positions. Arsenal have got to defend this resolutely.
Well, I've got to say that Raya, he's had to come off his line. He looks second favourite for me, Jim, from here. But he's come out with so much poise and aggression. He's got hold of the ball. It was either a penalty or he's going off if he misses that.
Hakimi just lets the ball run over the top of his foot, and Desiree Doué will pick it up. Back with Vitinha, out of Fabian Ruiz. Nuno Mendes on the PSG left. The clock feels as though it's ticking down very slowly now for Arsenal supporters. Marquinhos, 1-1 the score still. Hakimi on the right-hand side of the penalty area, and he's won another corner. The tally goes into double figures. Arsenal, remember, haven't taken one in the entire game as yet. Possession still mid-70s for PSG in front of a crowd of 61,000 here in Budapest. Dembele to take this latest corner. PSG number 10 hitting it right for it. It's an away swinger right through the penalty area. Madueke gets his head to it, back in from Vitinha and cleared. Oh, and then a missed kick. We'll see the ball fall for Martinelli, who's got it on halfway, but he's got runners, and the pass was shocking. That might have been Arsenal's moment. Madueke made a really good run ahead of him. Martinelli couldn't feather it into his path. He hit it far too strongly, and he goes through for Safanov.
Great opportunity there. Arsenal absolutely flew at PSG when they had a glimpse of a break. And to be fair, they've got some players on the pitch that can actually offer that, fresh ones especially in these wide areas.
Fabian Ruiz to his left in the 88th minute, 1-1 on TalkSport. There's a late heartbreak in the 2006 final for Arsenal, but not as late as it is now. Doué laying it back for Hakimi. No pressure on the ball in. Taking a couple of nicks off Arsenal players, one off Rice, one off Timber. Back out of the PSG left, another ball served high inside the penalty area. Hakimi comes to meet it, flying header over Nkapie well wide. And out of play for a goal kick that David Raya is going to take with 2.5 minutes of normal time to go. I reckon 6 to be added at bare minimum. And then extra time after that if Arsenal can get there, or indeed if Arsenal don't score a winner. Raya very deliberately places the ball down, quite purposefully strides back towards his line. It just flicks the toes of both boots into the ground inside the goal and then kicks it some 65 yards upfield. It's flicked on by Havertz. Looking for Victor Gyökeres, who hasn't had any service since coming on really. Doué chasing after a ball that Nkapie can shepherd over the line. Out of play for a throw near halfway. Turn forward by Arsenal. Gabriel for Martinelli in his yellow boots. The Brazilian dallying in possession. Put under pressure by Doué, but laid off towards Nkapie. Luis Enrique kicking every ball as he just does shuttle runs up and down the edge of his technical area. Raya almost slipping as he drives the ball upfield. Gyökeres backing into his man Pacha, but there's no one in support getting close enough to him when he can flick it off like that. Now PSG working forward. It's Desiree Doué. He's inside the penalty area to his left-hand side, and it's just hit the roof of the net on its way over. Another brilliantly struck shot from João Neves that was close. Raya goes down holding his left foot. I'm sure that is a delaying tactic. Similarly, Doué is down on the edge of the penalty area as well. But PSG are getting closer to a winner.
Well, they are. I think that was Coutinho actually who hit that shot, and he just got in the box. And he hasn't been in the box very often. He's been the one on the build all the time. But my goodness me, that was worrying.
We're listening to Arsenal against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. So players from both sides down receiving treatment.
This game's getting stretched, Jim. I'm going to make a statement. I think Arsenal are going to win this game. I don't know how, but I think they are. But they've got to... we bought Gyökeres on, and I'm thinking, well, he can hold the ball up slightly better. But he's not, you know what I mean? They're trying to flick it round the corner. Your team need you and Havertz to hold the ball up and stop play and stop the defenders and build from there.
How do you anticipate Arsenal winning this? I'm not saying that you're wrong, but how do you see it? What's the most likely way? Set piece?
In eagerness for PSG to win the game, I think they might leave themselves vulnerable for a counter-attack, like we just saw where they got the pass wrong. I think it might just come from that.
Well, Raya is still down receiving treatment. The Arsenal players have all congregated, as you would expect, in front of Mikel Arteta. We've got 6 minutes to be added on. Those 6 minutes won't start until we resume play. So it's going to effectively be 7 additional minutes, of which we've had 1. Everybody back in their positions. Arsenal will resume with a goal kick. Still haven't done so yet. Waiting for the signal from the German referee Daniel Siebert. He's happy. And Arsenal take the goal kick now with Gabriel. So 6 minutes from here, that'll see us through to 97-20 at the very least. Fabian Ruiz goes down. He was caught by Timber. The referee says he wasn't. Rice plays the ball down the line. And we can't find Madueke. And then Rice's next touch is a well-timed challenge, but he had to make it to stop Barkla being able to break forward down the Parisian left. And it's another throw that will be taken by the current Champions League holders. Will they still be able to say that in 40 minutes' time?
I think Dembele's got a hamstring injury. Referee's just asked him if he's all right, or a calf injury, something of that nature. He's just signalled to the bench. I think his race has run.
Well, he went off after 25 minutes in that local derby against Paris FC 13 days ago with a calf problem. He said in the press conference yesterday he was never in any doubt that he was going to be fit enough to play today, but it looks as though it might have recurred. He's signalling over. He's just hopping up and down on the spot at the moment, and he's rubbing it. He looks in some degree of discomfort. Play stopped with a free kick much deeper that PSG will take, and they'll take short. So probably still 5 minutes of playing time to go. 1-1 the score. And here's Desiree Doué. He's gone back inside his own half for Fabian Ruiz. Just a little bit of a lull in the game just for a moment. But PSG so capable of being able to go up through the gears so quickly. Doué down towards Hakimi. Dembele can't make any run towards the ball here, and he's almost high-stepping, Cam style, as he's trying to move towards the edge of the box to try and alleviate the pain. Back he comes from Vitinha. Down towards Marquinhos, Fabian Ruiz. towards the edge of the penalty area. Doué. A little shuffle one side of Lewis Skelly, then the other, and he works the ball in. It's cleared by Gabriel back into him. Scoops it in with the outside of the right boot. Barkler attacking it, but all he could then do was bring the ball under control and come back outside the penalty area. It's 1-1 with 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the game to go. Gonzalo Ramos will be on in a moment, and clearly it's going to be for Dembele. Play goes on for now. Hakimi back behind square for João Neves. Ian Tur behind square for Marquinhos. To his left for Vitinha. Out to Zero Doué. Making a run towards the ball. Nuno Mendes plays it past him though. Down towards Marquinhos again. Hakimi has it. Hakimi level the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Gunners getting the defensive angles right, not committing themselves at the moment, still so watchful. Just denying PSG the opportunity to play through them. Forcing them to funnel the ball out wide. Try and attack with crosses from wider positions rather than come through the middle. Forward he comes here to Marquinhos. Just edging forward into what was nearly a shooting position, but he thought better of that. Back out for Hakimi, 3 to go, and it's still 1-1. PSG still haven't been able to make the changes yet. Dembele indicating to his teammates they should put the ball out of place so they can make the change. Fabian Ruiz onto his left foot. High ball swung in, headed away well. That was good covering by Yuri and Timber. Madueke pokes it forward. Here's Havertz. Havertz then brought down on the edge of the centre circle, and that's a yellow card. João Neves the recipient of it. Now PSG can make their change. Dembele coming off, Ramos coming on. Free kick to Arsenal with 2.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's an opportunity there for Arsenal if they could have found a pass. Madueke had set sail, played the ball forward, run off the ball, and they're the opportunities. Admittedly, they're living off scraps, but they're still in this game. They're still fighting.
As we like to say, still the most significant moment of the day lies ahead of us. We're in the 6th minute of added time. Just less than 2 minutes to go before we go to extra time. Chance for Arsenal to get every outfield player in the Parisian half. Raya sending this forward. Goal for Arsenal now, and they're European champions. Ball headed away. Comes outside the penalty area for Declan Rice. Rice down towards Gabriel, who's still forward. Gabriel for Martinelli. And the Brazilian right-footed ball swung inside the penalty area, headed down and then volleyed away. Comes back out for Saliba. Saliba with a high up and under. Scoops it out to the Arsenal right-hand side for Noni Madueke. Timber. Can they get the ball inside the penalty area one last time? Gabriel attacking it, knocked away from him by Marquinhos. Looked as though Declan Rice handled it, but they've lost their shape. And the counter-attack is on. Barkler is sprinting forward. Barkler with a chance to win it. Hits the side netting. Arsenal survive, and that may well see us get through to extra time.
Well, we thought Arsenal could put some pressure on, and all of a sudden the counter-attack was on in another direction, and Barkler in a similar situation to the Havertz goal all that time ago just didn't steady himself enough. Never got it on target.
This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. We played 90 minutes. We're going to extra time. It is 1-1. Well, Arsenal have now played their hand because they've made changes 5 and 6 into extra time, so you get a 6. But the players that have come off are Havertz and Lewis Skelly, replaced by Eze and Zubamendi. So we're back underway. We'll run through the two teams for you in a moment. Another high up and under from Declan Rice from the kickoff, just trying to hang it towards the edge of the PSG penalty area. They've made no further changes at the start of extra time. They've still got 4 left. And Barkler and Gonzalo Ramos have come on for them. A free kick given PSG's way. So Arsenal now, Raya in goal. Back 4 of Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Nkapie. It's Rice and Zubamendi, Madueke, Eze, Martinelli and Gyökeres up front. And that's how it's going to be. Someone goes off with a concussion for the 30 minutes of extra time. Stuart Pearce still alongside me. This game brought to you in association with TNT Sports, the home of European football. In extra time, in the 2026 Champions League final.
Yeah, I think Arsenal will be hoping that Eza can come on and hold that ball up and find a pass maybe to the likes of Madueke. But they're going to have to wrestle the ball back from PSG to do that.
16 attempts to 4 in PSG's favour. Arsenal's only attempt on goal was the goal, 6 minutes in. PSG have only had 3. One of those came from the penalty spot. It has been a really good, stellar defensive display. They need something going forward. Can Noni Madueke provided here. Good ball through the 6-yard box and it's cleared. And here is Arsenal's first corner that they're going to take tonight in the 92nd minute.
Yeah, it's incredible it's taken that long to actually deliver a corner into the box, but so be it. I just got a feeling Arsenal have just got a bit more character to get over the line.
So Madueke to take this corner. Something is thrown from the PSG supporters down in his direction. It's missed him by some distance. But he's just making the point to the assistant referee. Spots the ball down. Arsenal's setup is the traditional one. 4 outside the far post. 1 inside the 6-yard box. 2 more deeper in the penalty area, including Eza. Here come the quartet in towards the near post, looking for a flick off. Corner. Gonzalo Ramos heads it away. They'll do it all again.
Yeah. So it probably didn't have enough flight on it to actually put it into the danger zone. Just a little bit too short. Use that one as a sighter hopefully, and it'd be quite rewarding if it was Gabriel that managed to score a goal now with the performance he's put in so far.
So Madueke to take it again. Same routine, ball coming in towards the near post, and he's put it straight into the side netting.
My goodness me, that was woeful. A player of his standard floating the ball in there, and he's put so much curl on it, Jim. He's not just missed the near post, he's missed it by a yard and a bit, and it's gone into the side netting. What a waste.
That wasn't out of the Nicolas Jova playbook, that one. The pressure has understandable things to people, and they are all these Arsenal players in the biggest game of their lives. All the ones that are on the field at the moment. Safanov with a poor clearance. He is as well. Remember, he didn't feature in the Champions League final that they won last year because Donnarumma was still at the club. And he's driven this goal kick straight out of play for an Arsenal throw on halfway. Warren Zaire-Emery is going to be coming on very shortly for PSG. Throw taken by Timber. Back for Saliba. Raya driving it forward. Timber helping it on. Clearance comes from Vitinha. And should be played comfortably by Saliba back for his goalkeeper. Raya again can clear it, going up for it. João Neves. Pacho came past him to head it away. He's come off the side of his head and finds Noni Madueke. Madueke flicking it off to his left-hand side. Taken on inside the penalty area by Timber, and he's been judged to have pulled back João Neves just outside the penalty area.
Wow. I'm astounded at that. We'll have a look at the replay. I think he's palmed him off, has he, or pulled him, they're suggesting. It's good play. Little 1-2 was in the offing. Well, he's put his arm up to guard against any contact and just might have stroked his chin.
Well, here comes the change. Fabian Ruiz coming off. And Warren Zaire-Emery on, the youngest player in Champions League history to play 40 games in this competition. Danny came off the bench in the final last year. That's so again. That's the third of their 6 changes.
I tell you what, it's broke a record this year. The amount of goalkeepers I've seen kick the ball directly out of play on the side of the pitch is astounding, both in Premier League and Champions League.
Safanov's got an eye for it. Timber throws the ball back to centre-half Saliba, back to his goalkeeper. Raya can't hit the player on the island either, and it's gone straight out of play past Nkapie for a throw that will be taken by PSG over on the far side. As if you needed your point to be illustrated. It was done so very eloquently there by David Raya. 6 gone in extra time. It's 1-1 here in Budapest. Sun beginning to go down. Oh, it does fall pretty quickly here. Ball lay down the Parisian left by Nuno Mendes for the retreating Barcola, who's over to get it back to him. And Weke trying to read his next move. Is bobbing up and down in front of him. He's forced the error. Rice turning it forward. Eza. Timber made a run inside. The ball was played to the outside right. And PSG, down by their own corner flag, should be able to deal with it with Warren Zaire-Emery in possession. His clearance though has hit Madueke and bounces Timber's way. Back it goes from Timber to Madueke. Madueke making a run. He went offside, so it's played in towards Gyökeres instead. And Gyökeres fouls João Neves. Free kick to PSG. They've got to take it surely from something like the right place. I mean, he's trying to nick 10 yards there.
I've been so disappointed with Gyökeres' contribution since he's come on, Jim, honestly. Just not held anything up at all. He's not given his team a lift, and they were crying out for someone to hold the ball up.
Was it the right decision with hindsight now? Was it the right decision not to start him?
Well, on his contribution so far, I would say yes, without a doubt. But listen, he's got to come on and prove the point. And even the time that he's been on the pitch, I don't think he's retained the ball once yet.
Well, it was Havertz that started the game. It was Havertz that got the goal. Didn't see Arsenal through to full time, but they've only conceded an equaliser. Marquinhos with a good challenge here. And Gyökeres coming back has been forced to give a free kick away. He's going to get a yellow card for that. And having lost it to Marquinhos, that was all he could do really. He came back, knew that he was going to take a yellow card for the team. It was the only way that he could rectify his own error. It's a PSG free kick and still a decent distance outside the penalty area.
You know, as a manager, you make changes, you see a game plan in your head, and players come on and they just don't deliver that. You know, it's almost a case of, look, see the game, see what the team need. The team need what is your forte, holding the ball up and maybe running the channels, but hold it up paramount.
So it's the impressive Vitinha that stands over the free kick. There is one man in the wall, that is Gyökeres. The spray put down 6 or 7 yards outside the penalty area. In fact, he's retreated now and he's on the edge of the box as well. And then he comes, right-footed delivery, well headed away by the retreating Saliba. And the next block on the subsequent cross that comes in from Pacho is a decent one from Supermendi, goes out of play for a throw. More action on the PSG bench. We've got 6 minutes of the first period of extra time still ahead of us. Warren Zaire-Emery, you're with Talk Sport, it's 1-1. Havertz on 6, Dembele on 65 from the penalty spot. Vitinha. Marquinhos still inside his own half, but he's not now as he comes forward. Behind the ball, it's almost a 4-4-2 for Arsenal at times here, with Eza pushing forward up top along with Gyökeres. Vitinha with a half space for Hakimi, who will just drift in from that right-hand side. Played it back for Marquinhos again. Now Vitinha. Still every Arsenal player back behind the ball. Just about to tick into the 100th minute. Hakimi coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Still he comes. And let him shoot on his left foot from there all night long. Into the Arsenal supporters. Out of play for a goal kick that David Raya will take as a helicopter just buzzes overhead on the now cloudless light blue sky. It's 1-1 with 20 minutes before penalties.
Yeah, poor effort. Hakimi just needed a little bounce pass off of somebody. Wasn't forthcoming.
David Raya spots the ball down. He'll take this goal kick. Those are the Gunners supporters that you can hear singing. Way to our left-hand side. David Raya defending that end of the ground in this first period of extra time. He's got it forward, but not a long driven clearance. Marquinhos lays it back, Pacho will clear, but slices it straight out of play for an Arsenal throw. Mikel Arteta doesn't take the mark. He's taken 3 or 4 very hasty steps back in his technical area, got his hands up and just palms the ball down for Timber as if he wanted him to take the throw quickly. Luis Enrique would like Timber to take it from the right half of the pitch. Neither happened. Here's Eza picking up the ball in the midfield, plays the way that he's facing. Down to the Arsenal right-hand side for Madueke. Madueke taking it on a touch inside the penalty area. Was he brought down? Referee says no. Nuno Mendes with the challenge. Declan Rice almost in the face of the referee, bellowing at him that should have been a penalty. But play goes on. Clearly it's going to be looked at by the VAR. Zaire Emery out of Vitinha. Now Arsenal have got to get back quickly, because here come Paris Saint-Germain on the counter-attack. Zire Doué. We want to Zaire Emery around the edge of the penalty area, then back to Hakimi and back again. It'll be interesting if the ball gets put out of play, whether the referee tells the players to stop before a restart. No indication yet that there is a VAR check, or that a lasting VAR check is still underway. Zaire Emery, little step over, Vitinha worked inside the box. Arsenal will try and get it away. They haven't got it away very far. Zaire Emery back out of the PSG right-hand side again. Still the boos from the Gunners supporters. Doué picked up then by Neves and clattered away from Gabriel. And there'll be a further inquest here from the Arsenal players as they push up to keep a high line. The referees just said no, wasn't a penalty.
I'll tell you what, I've not seen it again, but what I would say is Madueke should have done more to stay on his feet, because I think eventually he got the wrong side of the defender and it might well have been a penalty.
Well, Mikel Arteta has just made the sign with his fingers for the monitor and has got the mandatory yellow card as a result of that. Declan Rice has got a yellow card as well. He's talked his way into the book. When it comes down to it, the players know that an incident like that will be checked. We're having a first look at it now.
See, I think if he'd have made an attempt, for me, no. I don't think that's clear cut.
No, I think Madueke in a way is the instigator. He's put his left arm around, his left hand around the left arm of Nuno Mendes, and then their momentum has taken them both to the floor. But I think that's as a result of Madueke instigating.
That's why I think he's done so well, Madueke. He's got to try and stay on his feet, because I think if he'd have kept going, I think there could have been proper contact and a penalty.
And now Arsenal have got a problem, because Nkapie is down and they've made all of their changes, and there's just been an indication from the Arsenal players on the pitch that Nkapie can't continue. He's going to have to try. Arsenal 16 minutes away from taking this to penalties, and a shot at the biggest win in their 140-year history. It's been tough enough to survive this onslaught with some brilliant defending with 11 men. They can't go down to 10 because of injury. And Nkapie is really, really struggling. They're going to have to try and find a solution. We're only about a minute or so away from the half-time and extra time.
Well, in the good old days, Jim, when you had a really serious injury and you couldn't make a sub, they used to stick you out on the right wing. I'm not suggesting that's the weakest position on any football team, obviously, but
you must have been delighted. So you just went around hurting people, and then they used to put that person up against you. Happy days.
So you didn't have to move.
2 minutes of added time at the end of this first period of extra time. Champions League final still dead level at 1 apiece. Only thing I would say about penalties, which at the moment look quite inviting, PSG have got a really good record in penalty shootouts. Here's Marquinhos coming forward.
I think Arsenal will get the best goalkeeper though.
Oh yes, go along with that. I mean, you wouldn't even contemplate swapping the two keepers, would you? Raya is much better than Safi. PSG have it with Pacha. It's 10 yards inside his own half. There's a lot of football to be played before we get to a penalty shootout. Neves play forward at the right hand side, and Capier is still labouring on. He's at left back at the moment, but Martinelli is in defensive duty. He's playing in front of him and has been able to stop the cross from Hakimi here. And it's blocked and goes out of play for a throw. The Gunners fans doing what they can to sing their side home. A minute plus 15 to go, and then pens. You would talk sport in the Champions League final. Ball chipped over the top. Is it going to be another night of English European success? We've had 2 in the last 10 days. There's another one incoming. Eza loses out. Zaire Emery plays it forward. Arsenal winning it back though. Madueke emerging with possession away from a challenge from Gonzalo Ramos. Turns, plays it forward. Finds Aberici Eza. Eza working it back. Zubamendi's got it. I wonder whether we'll see Zubamendi pressed into emergency service at full-back. In the second period of extra time, I think Capier can't continue. He's been able to put his foot through that one all right to get it upfield. Flicked on though by Gyökeres and nowhere in particular. Again, he can't hold it up. And it goes out of play for a throw that there's no time to take, and they'll swap round half-time and extra time. It's 1-1. Yeah, Vitinha, the deepest midfielder for PSG, off. The man that was the deepest midfielder for them in the 2020 finals gone off as well. That was Marquinhos. He's been replaced by the former Bournemouth centre-half, Ilya Zabani. The £57 million acquisition hasn't played in the knockout stages of the Champions League this season, but he's on here. He's also won each of his last 2 appearances against Arsenal. The other player to come on, Lucas Beraldo, the Brazilian, who can also play as centre-half or can play as a defensive midfielder. PSG with the restart, 15 minutes to go. Some dusky pinks in the sky now. Night falling here in Budapest. Arsenal hoping to make sure that the lights don't go out on their Champions League hopes. They're 15 minutes away from getting this to penalties. Certainly haven't died wondering. It's been a really good performance from Arsenal, whatever happens from here. Not perfect, of course, but they have acquitted themselves well.
No, I think they've done as much as the opposition have let them do, if truth be known, Jim.
That's all you can do. Playing against a really good team. PSG playing a long ball forward. It should bounce on the left-hand side of the penalty area for Saliba, but Zaire Emery's darting run, the fresher legs got in there first. He's played it out towards Doué. Doué for recently arrived Lucas Beraldo, wearing 4. Now across to Ilya Zabani, wearing 6. Zabani controlling it. Ukrainian working it back for Beraldo. To his left-hand side for Nuno Mendes. Right footed ball angled over the top, right-hand side of the penalty area. Barkla heading it back in. Out comes Rye, got a hand on it. It's all he could hope for. And then João Neves couldn't follow up, and Arsenal will be able to clear and put it out of play for a throw.
Yeah, real skirmish there on that occasion, and Rye has done well.
They switched to a back 3 here. It's Nuno Mendes showing no willingness now really to push forward at all from PSG down the left-hand side. I don't know whether it was just that passenger play, but he was having a little bit of a breather, or whether they have genuinely switched to a back 3. We're 13 minutes from time in extra time, and it's still 1-1. And it's been that way now for more than 40 minutes. PSG coming forward again down the left-hand side of the box. Rice was turned. Half stop the cross coming in. Hasn't got the ball back. Right-footed effort from Doué is blocked. Comes back outside the penalty area again. Zabani has just stand it up. He's just worked it forward down the right-hand side. Back it comes from Hakimi. Hakimi again. Just taking a deflection. Spins it actually into the hands of David Raya. 1-1, 107 gone.
Yeah, I think at any given time you can stop this formation and look and potentially see a 3. I think they have, though, to be fair.
Arsenal got possession in the heart of the midfield. With Talk Sport, where we'll bring you every game of the forthcoming World Cup live on the Talk Sport network. There's 2 warm-up games. The first one against New Zealand, which kicks off 9 p.m. English time next Saturday night. And Soccer Aid comes your way tomorrow. In the Champions League final here, we've got 12 minutes left. Madueke's been fouled. Free kick to Arsenal. What they would give for one more stellar set piece in their season here. Can they get the delivery right? Can they get the movement right? PSG with everybody back. Arsenal showing a reluctance at the moment to get anybody forward. Rice is going to stand over and over on the right-hand side. It is about 3 yards in from the right-hand touchline. Does have the option of just toe poking it down the line for Madueke, maybe getting a return ball to hit it in at a better angle.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Saliba stay back, and I don't see the point in that. I would have thought they're better off gambling on throwing players forward.
Could this be Arsenal's moment? Zubamendi at the far post, darting, running towards the near post from Timber. Gyökeres in by the penalty spot. Safanov comes out, punches it clear. Should be brought further away on the near touchline by the captain Hakimi. He's got the armband now that Marquinhos has gone off. He's laid it back for Zabani through his own penalty area, but safely. And Nuno Mendes will be able to bring it away with 11 minutes to go. Down towards Warren Zaire-Emery. Controlling the ball on the right-hand touchline. Zaire-Emery taking a touch. Martinelli's come back, defended it brilliantly. Got in between player and ball. Nkapie, paint etched across his face. Blasts the ball as far forward as he can. Looking for Gyökeres. Gyökeres just running. Chasing after lost causes. PSG play it past him easily. João Neves. Hakimi to his right. Zaire-Emery to his left. Now to Hakimi, played into the young Frenchman. João Neves once more. Arsenal keeping a high line, right on the edge of the penalty area. Rather ominously, Gonzalo Ramos, I don't think he's had a touch since he's come on to replace Dembele. He's lurking with intent, the man that scores late goals on a regular occasion. Lucas Beraldo with a nice turn. Back for Nuno Mendes. From the left-hand side of the back line to the right, as Zabani is played in. Now it comes down towards Hakimi. Shown for it in the midfield, Beraldo. Hakimi. Back for Beraldo again. Arsenal at the moment just can't get a touch. Here's Mendes once more. He's now got Doué playing outside him as a left wing back, and Hakimi, who's near touchline, as a right wing back. Work down to the near touchline, the Parisian right. Fall from the Moroccan. João Neves trying to get around Zubamendi. Has played it off him, and then it's cannon back off the thigh and onto the back of Zubamendi. Now to play for another PSG corner.
Yeah, a bit worrying. They're just going to have to see this period out. Just looking at Doué coming over here. He's for such a young man. And he stayed on for the whole duration when some of his fellow forwards have gone off. It's been absolutely incredible, I think, this kid.
Yeah, he's going to light up the World Cup. In comes this corner towards the near post. Rice heads it away. Martinelli can bring it down, then try to flick it on with a relatively soft touch so that he could chase after it. Knew he'd put too much on it. Madueke chased after it willingly. The PSG mop up at the back again, and Mendes will play it out towards Doué. Certainly a candidate if PSG win for man of the match. Down towards Zabani. 8 minutes to go. Penalties looming increasingly large, but Arsenal are not there yet. Can't remember the last shot that they had. Can't remember the last shot on target that they had. It was in the 6th minute. We're now in the 113th. Either side's going to win this 2-1. You'll bet your bottom dollar on it being PSG. But Arsenal have defended so well today and throughout the course of the season that they'll back themselves to at least get this to a shootout yet. Nuno Mendes to Doué. Doué receiving the ball on the left, but every Arsenal player is between him and goal. Back for Mendes. Now to Zabani in his bright yellow boots. The former Bournemouth man waiting for a little bit of movement ahead of him. Game understandably not being played at a great tempo now. Arsenal shuffling across diligently, trying to close the gaps, restrict the opportunities. They have done that majestically. Only been 3 on target all day from PSG. In comes the ball, looking for Gonzalo Ramos. And well caught by David Wright.
Yeah, good goalkeeping, but just prior to that, I was watching Gabriel marking his striker excellently, stopping the ball, anything in front of him he deals with, touch tight in the box. He's a real example to youngsters.
On from Rice. Ezra's not really been able to make too much of an impact since coming on. It was though the two centre-halves for Arsenal were going for the same ball there, but Saliba was able to deal with it. Fall from him for Zubamendi. Zubamendi to Declan Rice again inside his own half, chipped over the top. Timber making a run forward. Nuno Mendes is there. Timber's done well, he's won it back. Lays it back inside his own half for Declan Rice. 1-1 in the Champions League final with 6 to go on TalkSport. Rice again, back for David Raya again. Raya taking a touch. Still haven't conceded a goal from open play in the knockout stages of the Champions League this season of Arsenal. Desperately hope I'm not tempting fate by mentioning that now. I think he's got the ball in his hands. It's going to be a throw. 22 yards inside Arsenal territory.
I think when this game pans out, Jim, if Arsenal are defeated, I think they'll probably look at their subs and say they probably didn't have the impact we were hoping, especially at the front end of the team. But I hope one of them can come up with something.
Not quite. There's a man for the big occasions we've seen in finals before. Threading it through, but too much on it for Madueke. Stretched and couldn't bring it under control. Safanov bowls it out. Pacho will bring it forward. How are your nerves, Arsenal fans, with 5 minutes left in the final? Closest you've ever got to lifting the trophy. Are you going to be the 25th different club to win the European Cup? Is it going to be new winners in back-to-back seasons? Here's Bradley Barcola off the bench for PSG. Play down towards Hakimi for Lucas Beraldo. João Neves. Ball from him for Zabani. Coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area, but there's no tempo from anybody, even the substitutes that have come on. Nobody getting the ball and really driving forward. Really prepared to take on an opponent out and out. Barcola, ball inside the penalty area, retreating. Gabriel did well to knock it away. Gyökeres can help it on, but straight to a man in dark blue. Forward again towards Doué with 4.5 to go. Gyökeres, who's looking really tired, stuck out a right foot there to bring that under control, and he couldn't. João Neves. Back for Lucas Beraldo. Everything in Arsenal territory at the moment, but nothing in their net since the penalty. And that was nearly an hour ago. Doué, forward. Enrique down on his haunches, joined by his trusty right-hand man, Rafael Pol. He's just whispering into his ear, almost coquettishly there for a moment. And then the pair of them get back to their feet and are having slightly more animated discussion. Back it comes to Zabani. Zabani to Pacho. Arsenal doing well to almost keep an invisible force field outside their penalty area. Stop PSG getting the ball inside the box. Still stringing the passes together. Possession going up and up. Zabani. Zabani to João Neves. He's got past the ailing Nkapie. He's gone to the byline. He's chipped it in. Looks like it might have gone out of play for a goal kick. Then as the shot comes back in from Doué, it bounces, loops up. Raya can catch it. And he bowls it out quickly for Noni Madueke, and he will take on his man. Nuno Mendes fouls him. And that should be and will be a yellow card.
Yeah, it's those little opportunities that you're hoping Arsenal might get in these final couple of minutes of breaking, leaving someone who's tired one-on-one. Once again, good defensive play by Arsenal there. When you look at their team, they're all in the right slots all the time. That's why the ball doesn't end up in the back of their net.
So a free kick, which David Raya will take. It's about 4 yards inside his own half. PSG's defensive line, which is 7 strong, is on the edge of the D. That's its reference point. It just drops back now. Raya sending this forward with a little bit too much steam. And it's gone over everybody's head now to play for a goal kick that Safanov will take. There won't be too much time added on at the end of this period of extra time, and we're only 2 minutes away, potentially now, from penalties. There might not be any time to be added on at all. At the very most, I think there are only 3 minutes left to play.
Yeah, with my England out on here, I'm looking and seeing a couple of players there that might be involved in a penalty shootout this summer. Maybe this experience might do them good.
Safanov's done it again. He's driven it forward straight out of play for a throw to Arsenal, 10 yards inside their own half. Taken quickly, worked out towards Noni Madueke. Madueke trying to beat his man, threaded inside the penalty area. Madueke can't get the return ball, and as the cross is driven in towards the near post, it's gone straight into the side netting from Jurrien Timber, who's hoping for a corner, but he hasn't got one. And we're in the 120th minute as the goal kick is taken.
Well, a sort of lazy effort on the cross there, sadly.
PSG play it forward, straight out of play for a throw that Nkapie is going to take. Luis Enrique again, telling him he's got to take it from near the right place. So the referee to tell Nkapie that, and he doesn't.
He's not policed it all night, the referee, so why should he start now?
Absolutely. Ball thrown forward. Eza, little flick off here. It's Martin Zubimendi. Goal now for Arsenal, they're European champions. Declan Rice, too far out to set the sights. Plays it wide out towards Jurrien Timber. 20 seconds to go. Left-footed ball swung inside the box, well headed away. Bounces back down. Gyökeres can turn and gets it onto his right foot. It's deflected and spins it wide, and Arsenal have a corner to try and win it before it goes to penalties.
Well, here we go. This is the last hurrah, potentially. Gyökeres, well done on that occasion, I've got to say. Cut inside, open the goal up, and a good block eventually.
Is the script written for a side that certainly in the first half of the season scored an inordinately high proportion of their goals from set pieces? Have they still got one left in the locker? Because if they have, it's the biggest one in their history, without fear of exaggeration. Is this the moment they waited for 140 years? Taking their time about delivering it. It's in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Come off Parisian head. Safanov got stuck in traffic. Half punched it clear. My break outside the penalty area. Left-footed back in from Declan Rice. A little flick header and a deflection that looks as though it's going to spin it in towards the near post. Goes out of play for a goal kick. And I think the referee will blow his full-time whistle.
Well,
120 minutes in. And it's 1-1 between PSG and Arsenal. And they've got it to penalties. Great start of the game. They were hanging on for large swathes of it, and they've done brilliantly to get it this far. And who will win it? From 12 yards. Okay, Gunners fans, would you have settled for this at the start of the night? And how are your nerves? Last penalty that David Raya saved was against Paris Saint-Germain. And that was missed by Vitinha in the semi-final last season. Arsenal have won a penalty shootout this season. That was against Palace in the League Cup quarter-finals. But only 3 of the 8 that took one that night are on the field to take one tonight. PSG, for their part, have won all of their 5 shootouts over the last 2 seasons, including the one against Spurs in the European Super Cup in Udine earlier this season. Gonzalo Ramos is going to take the first one for PSG, who, as Stuart said, have won the toss, both to take it at that end of the ground, away to our right-hand side in front of the Paris Saint-Germain supporters, and they also won the subsequent toss to go first. David Raya, every Arsenal fan in the world has everything crossed for you. Will a majestic, magnificent season culminate in hero status here in Budapest? Here we go then, first one up. Gonzalo Ramos against David Raya. He hits it right-footed. And Raya dived to his right-hand side. Ramos blazing it past him. And the first penalty scored.
Yeah, good penalty, solid penalty. That's the beauty about going first and winning a toss to take that. It heaps the pressure on Arsenal now. And Gyökeres, who's been slightly critical of, I've got to say, in open play, gets the opportunity.
He has scored each of his last 28 penalties, Victor Gyökeres, in matches and shootouts, including all 4 that he's taken for Arsenal. It's a long runner compared to some of the others. Safanov trying to stop it, right-footed into the bottom right-hand corner, never in doubt. There's a little punch of the air in relief from Victor Gyökeres. It's 1 apiece after 1 penalty apiece.
Yeah, good solid penalty there. I thought Safanov had gone very, very early personally, and left the goal gaping, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's gone a mile too soon, I've got to say.
Well, that's an encouraging sign.
Yeah, it certainly is.
He did save 4 out of 5 in a penalty shootout in the Intercontinental Cup against Flamengo earlier this season. Safanov. David Raya, not going through histrionics per se, but he's really reluctant to take his place back on the line. Next up for PSG, it's Desiree Doué, who's had a fine game. Raya clapping 3-4 times. It's a little bent run up and he slotted into the bottom right hand corner as Raya again dived the wrong way. And it's 2-1 PSG.
Yeah, good penalty there. Just going, I think, unless I'm mistaken, you don't have to stand on the halfway line. You just have to stand in the centre circle. And when you talk about getting little, Aid always asks me about getting little edges on the opposition, you can actually stand at the front end of the circle and let the opposition walk past you on the way back.
Chiesa has never taken a penalty for Arsenal. Well, he's going to take this the second one. Chest puffed out. He's 6 steps straight back. Stands on the edge of the penalty area. Shuffles to his left. Runs up. Little stutter. Oh, and another stutter. And a right-footed penalty that's gone wide. He's missed the target. Chiesa puts the penalty wide. And it is advantage Paris Saint-Germain.
Well, he looked so calm. He waited and waited, which is a good sign in my book. Transfer the pressure onto the goalie, but it was a stuttered run-up. It was a hit and miss run-up, and he just pulled it so far wide of the post. It was incredible. PSG have got real advantage now, and this is the real beauty of the first penalty. They can extend it to a 3-1, and Arsenal will be chasing.
Nuno Mendes has taken penalties in each of the last 3 shootouts for PSG, and he's scored them all. And he's going third. It's 2-1 after 2 penalties apiece to Paris Saint-Germain. So make it 3-1. Raya again, same routine. Claps the hand, saves! Diving to his left-hand side. Massive moment for Arsenal as David Raya tips the ball away. Nuno Mendes denied. And if Arsenal score the next one through Declan Rice, it's dead level again.
Yeah, super save by the goalie. Went to his left reasonably early, but I tell you what, great spring. He's an athlete and a half, this boy, I've got to say. And Arsenal relying on him. And if you're Eza at the moment, you're on that halfway line saying, can't wait to get you in that dressing room, Raya. Thank you.
So the ball that was saved, you know how superstitious everybody is. David Raya sprinted after it down towards the touchline to make sure that that was the one that he could hand to Declan Rice. Rice scores this. It is 2-2 after 3 penalties each. Here he comes, Declan Rice, right-footed, great penalty into the bottom right-hand corner. Safanov as it came back off the net, beat it away in frustration. It's dead level again. Eza's miss has been cancelled out now. 2-2.
Well, super penalty by Deck. He's opened his foot up, he's side-footed it, but he's put brilliant pace on it. Safanov on that occasion delayed his dive. In fact, there was no dive whatsoever. I think he was gambling on Declan Rice going down the middle, which didn't happen.
Ashraf Hakimi is next up. And in the last 5 shootouts the PSG have had, he hasn't taken one. And he's looking nervous. Stands hands on hips. Can Raya produce another miracle moment? He can't. It's a good penalty. It was blasted 2/3 of the way to the left of the goal. And Raya committed himself and heard it zip back off the net behind him.
Yeah, closed his foot there with an element of violence across his body. And Raya went the wrong way, I'm afraid, on that occasion. And once again, the pressure gets transferred to and fro. It's like a game of tennis, isn't it?
Every moment has more pressure and intensity on it than any of the previous ones. Gabriel Martinelli. Last penalty in the shootout was saved. This to keep it all square after 4 penalties each. It's a right-footed run-up and he's blasted it into the top left-hand corner. It's 3-3 after 4 penalties each were effectively in sudden death.
Yeah, beautiful penalty there. Come up, right foot, just closed his foot, put a bit of loft in it. Unstoppable top corner, certainly unstoppable. The goalie goes the wrong way.
And David Raya again, pushing the boundaries, stretching the patience of the referee because he goes across towards the penalty spot and he's just asking for clarification for something. And still, he hasn't made his way back. Now he will retreat. 3, 4, 5, 6 steps back onto his line. Lucas Beraldo stands statuesque. Now addresses the ball left-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way. And Arsenal have to score the next one to stay in it.
Well, he's been a colossus all game, Gabriel, and he's stepping up to take the 5th penalty. In the mind of the players that haven't taken already, they'll be thinking, well, it could be my turn very, very shortly, but Gabriel's got to score for it to be the case.
So in the 5 most recent penalty shootouts that Arsenal have had, Gabriel has been on the field for 3 of them and hasn't taken a penalty in any of them. Safanov stands on his line. The referee comes across. So just asking Gabriel to respot that. Just move the ball very slightly. It's a nervy looking run up from Gabriel. Has to score this. Otherwise PSG are champions again. Left-footed. He's missed it. He's missed the target. He's blazed it over the bar. And it isn't to be for Arsenal as Paris Saint-Germain celebrate back-to-back Champions League titles. And Gabriel, disconsolate, makes his way to the edge of the penalty area where he's met by his friend and international teammate Marquinhos. Tears rolling down his face. Martinelli is there to console him. Smoke and pyro away to our right-hand side again. Arsenal could not have come closer. But it wasn't to be. 2006, beaten with 10 men with a rearguard action, couldn't get them to extra time. Tonight they struck early again, held on for an hour, got it to penalties through extra time, withstood all the pressure, got away with an early miss from Berichi Eza, but Gabriel misses the target. None of the Arsenal players deserve the shootout to end in that kind of way, but particularly not him, a colossus over the course of his Arsenal career and this season. but that is a moment he will never forget. And Arsenal's wait goes on and on. Another crack at being crowned kings of Europe. Another crack that they haven't been able to take. And 140 years into their history, on the night in Budapest that they dreamt and visualised the biggest win of their life, they will leave the field as losers and in tears.